Hello，歡迎大家收睇由 居外Asia 主持嘅居外房產海外房產平台海外房產節目啦。咁其實我係 Evan，咁好耐都冇同大家見面啦。咁我哋又翻嚟啦，係啦。咁咧其實咧今日就想同大家咧就去即係講下其中一個嘅項目啦。咁其實而家嚟緊都11月啦。咁其實大家都可能都會開始諗下去旅行啦，或者可能去 book 啲 trip 啦。咁其實而家開關之後，其實我相信大家都周圍飛㗎啦。咁其實嚟緊聖誕節，唔知大家會唔會咧都會去下即係去下其他即係東南亞，或者可能去下即係天氣凍咁，或者去啲即係亞熱帶嘅地區啦。咁或者會唔會去下滑水啊，或者去下沙灘啊，樣即係感受下即係海灘啊，陽光與海灘嘅嘢啦。咁其實咧。如果大家有咁嘅諗法嘅話咧，其實我哋今日嗰個介紹嗰個項目俾你咧，就可能就啱你啦。咁其實今日咧就想同大家講下印尼巴厘島。咁其實咧，我相信其實巴厘島大家都唔會陌生啦。其實大家都即係去旅行啊，或者可能去滑水啊，或者可能係即係去海灘啊，或者去呢啲國家，其實都係非常之熟悉啊。咁但係咧，其實都或者會唔會大家諗下就係如果我下一次我去旅行嘅時間，或者我去巴厘島，咁如果有自己一個嘅物業啊，或者即係無論係自己住又好啊，自己去用又好，去度假屋啊，或者可能係出租咧，其實咧即係都會大家都會唔會考慮下咧？咁其實因為咧，其實而家咧即係都而家開翻關啦，咁其實而家嗰個旅遊又復甦啦，咁其實而家好多呢個嘅即係喺旅遊即係咁熱門嘅旅遊地區嘅投資項目咧，其實咧都好受到注目。咁佢嗰個回報率咧，其實亦都唔低嘅，亦都可以考慮下。咁所以其實咧，今日咧都即係我哋都邀請咗咧喺印尼即係嘅開發商啦，同我哋去講下其實而家印尼嗰個投資嗰個情況啦，去買樓啦，同埋究竟其實佢喺嗰邊嗰個即係嗰個發展啊，或者可能係成個嗰個配套啊，即係可能大家都買樓啊，印尼可能即係可能其他。即係英美澳加可能都聽得多啦，咁但係其實如果喺印尼去嗰個海外房產，究竟其實係點做咧？咁其實我哋今日都藉著呢一個嘅節目咧，都想同大家去多啲了解下，到 share 多啲俾大家聽啦。咁其實咧，我即係都知道，其實即係買海外房產其實都係一啲比較即係個人嘅需求啦。咁所以其實我哋都建議翻咧，大家如果真係有咁嘅即係有咁嘅即係有咁嘅諗法嘅話咧，其實都可以問翻專業嘅人士啦，或者其實你都可以，如果啲咩問題嘅話咧，亦都可以咧留言翻我哋喺我哋 居外Asia 而家 comment box 嗰度啦，或者亦都可以私信去我哋個 Facebook 嗰個專頁嘅，係啦。咁同埋咧即係今日都好開心可以請到即係喺印尼嗰方面，即係特登同我哋今日做直播啦。咁我哋事不宜遲，咁或者我哋咧就都可以邀請我哋嘅嘉賓上嚟先啦。OK，Hello。
Hi, Ivan.
Hello.
Hi, yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello, Natasha.
Yeah. Hi. How are you,
I
Ivan?
can hear you. Natasha 咧，其實就係我。係啦，Natasha 其實咧就係我哋今日邀請上嚟嘅嘉賓啦。咁其實咧佢就係 Mirror Investment Development 嘅銷售總監。咁其實今日同我哋頭先都話啦，其實都想同佢講下即係印尼其實佢投資海外即係投資物業嘅即係個細節啊，或者成個流程咯。咁或者我會或者麻煩 Natasha 介紹下自己先啦。Natasha, so welcome to our GY.Asia Hong Kong live program. So would you like to introduce yourself a little bit to our Hong Kong audience?
Yes, thank you so much, Ivan. So hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining this webinar. My name is Anastasia, and I'm working at Mira Investment and Development. We're the largest developer here in Bali, and I'm sales director in this company. So I'm very excited that everyone managed to find some time and join this webinar, where I will explain a little bit more about our company, about the dynamics of investing in Bali, and as well we will run through different investment strategies, and we will look on some real cases, examples, and we will also discuss different projects and how the business model is structured.
係啦，咁其實咧，即係頭先都提過啦。其實今日嘅個直播想同大家咧，即係除咗講下，即係介紹下印尼，其實佢而家嗰個發展啦。其實佢投資海外物業，其實佢嗰個而家嗰個潛力喺邊啦。咁其實 Natasha 其實今日都會再同我再講多啲，就係成個買賣嗰個流程啦。其實佢成個嗰個 role model 其實究竟嗰個 business model 究竟係點去做咧？因為其實咧，可能大家而家嗰個即係唔係話太過了解，因為始終係即係我哋身為外國人咧，都唔知究竟點買啦。跟住就唔緊要嘅，咁今Natasha 就會同我哋再去講解啦，係啦，咁 OK，Natasha， so shall we start right now?
Yes, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Let me put up the screen. Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, so Mira Investment and Development, we are one of the largest developer here in Bali. We've been around already on this market for around 17 years. We have a very great track record. So we also have completed developments, which are around 500 units. And also we currently have around 550 under the development. Our company is also quite large. We have around 300 people working in our company.
係啦，咁其實咧即係Natasha 其實佢都有提過啦，其實就係Mirror Investment Development 咧，其實就係印尼一個最大嘅開發商。咁其實咧佢已經喺印尼咧當地已經超過17年嘅即係開發經驗。咁其實咧喺咁多年嚟咧，其實已經係買咗超過500套嘅項目啦，500套房產啦。咁其實而家現正咧開發緊咧，其實都超過550套。咁其實佢係有唔同嘅，即係嗰個開發個項目咧，其實有別墅啦、公寓啦，其實好多唔同嘅旅遊項目，佢哋都會有牽涉喺裏邊。咁其實頭先都有提過啦，其實都超過17年嘅經驗，其實佢咁大嘅開發商咧，其實都有超過300名嘅員工咧喺當地做緊嘢嘅。OK。
Yeah, so we are actually our one-stop one-shop for our investors. We cover a lot of different expertises in our company, and we do everything from developing the different projects, either it's apartments or villas. We do all the design. We normally choose really strategic locations for these developments, and we also are doing the management of these properties. So it's end-to-end process where we can find a perfect investment opportunity for you, or it can be also residential property, and we'll offer as well the end-to-end service after that, including the management, tax, and legal services.
係啦，咁其實咧，既然咁大間嘅開發商啦，咁其實佢亦都唔單止淨係做開發，咁其實 Natasha 頭先都有提過啦，其實就係佢除咗係土地嘅開發啦，其實亦都有住宅物業、酒店、度假，其實好多唔同嘅開發項目都會有參與到。咁其實除咗開發之外咧，亦都係會有一個酒店嘅經營，即係其實佢係由一個好似即係由一個源頭去做到後面嘅。咁所以其實亦都會由一個土地嘅開發啦。係去發展嗰個項目啦、設計啦、起啦，同埋到最後係個管理呢一樣嘢。咁其實即係佢亦都會去幫助嘅客戶啦。除咗管理佢嗰個物業之外，好多其實可能佢嘅客戶都係貨出租啦。咁其實亦都可能有大家可能喺個海外即係買賣過程裏邊有唔少個法律啦、稅務啦、移民啦，其實可能好多唔同相關嘅服務。咁其實佢哋亦都會去幫佢哋嘅客戶咧去有啲諮詢，即係去幫助佢哋去解答呢啲嘅即係問題咯。咁所以其實就唔單止係即係做即係土地開發或者係一個即係項目開發咁簡單咯。
Yeah, so we are not just the developer here in Bali, but we also have projects on the nearby islands. So other than just building in Bali, we also have developments in Gili Travangan and as well Lombok Island. So we have quite vast portfolio of projects starting from 170,000 USD all the way up to $3 to $4 million US properties. Here on this slide, we can see 2 developments, Gokana Resorts and also Kuara in Lombok. Those are the resorts investments in the nearby islands like Gili Travangan and Lombok. And then also 2 of these developments, Kiara Beach and Namale, is the 2 projects that we will be talking later today in this call, the one that we just launched recently. And on this slide, you also can see another portfolio of as well finished projects, and some of them are under development as of now.
係啦，咁其實咧頭先我今日講巴厘島啦，咁其實我哋今日講項目嘅巴厘島上面，咁但係其實咧Mirror 即係 Mirror 呢一個嘅開發商其實唔單止淨係做巴厘島，咁其實喺其他島咧，其實佢都有唔同嘅項目。咁頭先 Natasha 亦都有提過啦。咁其實例如話，其實頭先係綠木島啦，咁或者其他島嶼其實都有個項目嘅。咁其實咧而家大家可以見到咧，其實而家唔同嘅項目咧，其實都係即係現正開發期間啦，亦都係分散喺唔同嘅島嶼。 咁所以其實睇得出其實佢嗰個即係嗰個範圍咧，其實嗰個項目佢嗰個即係佢個發展商佢喺個覆蓋範圍其實都係好大嘅。
Yeah, so here I just also would like to explain a little bit what type of companies are here in Bali, what type of developers are here. So when I said we are one of the largest developer, if you look at the market in general, you can normally see a standard type of developer. So those normally developers, they're building very small amounts of units. So it's 4 to 6 units a year. They're not in exactly the most premium locations. They're more a little bit like on the outside or suburb of main key areas, and this is normally an economy segment, so it's more like a business class type of properties. Then you have another 4% of an average or like more common type of the developer. So those ones are a little bit bigger. They're building from 20 to 30 units a year. They're still choosing the more of the best kind of locations, which are more touristy. But they have really, really small infrastructure as well inside of these developments. And then also, if you look at us, for example, so we are normally building from 50 units in one development. So it's 50 to 350 units in one project. And we currently have 250 units on a yearly basis that we are building. Normally, we choose only premium locations, so it has to be beachfront or either really walking distance to the beach. And we also do all legal support during the purchase process. We offer our own management company, and as well we offer really large infrastructure in these developments, including restaurants, gym, co-working spaces, and so on.
係啦，咁其實頭先都講啦 ，Mira 係一個喺印尼一個最大嘅發展商啦。咁其實究竟最大或者即係好大，其實究竟佢點去釐定咧？咁其實就係啱其實 Natasha 亦都有講，就係話其實喺印尼裏邊基本上可以分為3類。咁第一類其實就都係佔大部分啦，95%就標準發展商。其實佢哋係會即係佢哋嘅項目嘅，咁佢哋每一年大概4至6棟啦。咁其實咧佢哋都係即係一個比較即係比較少量嘅項目開發。咁呢個即係比較中型少少咧，就係即係佢每一年咧大概有20至30個嘅開發商，即係個項目開發啦。咁亦都會參與一啲嘅基建，咁係可能就係喺個旅遊嗰個景點裏邊，可能就參與一啲基建設施啦。咁亦都可能會同一啲其他專家合作啦。咁呢一個其實就係即係佢係大概4% 度。咁而剩翻其實見到大家其實就係咧 Mira 其實佢而家所以點解話佢自己係最大係因為其實佢每一年係起超過250個項目。咁其實佢嗰個即係島嶼個項目亦都係唔單止巴厘島啦，頭先都有提過喺龍目島、吉利島都會有。咁其實佢亦都喺全個即係喺即係成個嘅開發流程裏邊咧，其實除咗佢即係土地啦，佢嗰個項目啦，咁亦都其實佢係有其基建啦，咁亦都係會有自己管理公司去幫客戶去管理佢嘅物業啦，即係 property management 啦。咁亦都其實佢亦都係會有除咗基建之外咧，其實佢唔單止嗰個項目，其實項目周邊嘅即係旅遊設施一定係會有可能衣食住行，有餐廳有酒吧。咁其實Mira 其實佢亦都會有即係牽涉，即係都會去開發呢啲嘅唔同嘅組別嘅項目咯。
Yeah, so why Bali? Why people choosing this destination? Bali is actually one of the most popular destinations, has been voted also by different platforms like TripAdvisor, Traveloka, Statista, and so forward. Normally, if we look at the market, you have here an average occupancy over 70%, and this is also due to the fact that there is no much seasons here in Bali. So it's always one season. It's summer throughout the whole year. The average degree can be around 27 degrees. And that's why one of the reasons, because it's such a visited island. So for example, in 2019, we had around 16 million visitors, including international and domestic visitors. And that's one of the reasons on the short-term rental why people are able to gain here around 13% ROI per year. And as of now, in 2021, we already recovered on around 84% comparing to 2019 before pandemic. Bali also has a very high average room rate, which is around $575 a night. And this room rate that we are speaking is considering premium top locations close to the beach, And on this map, we actually also marked it out, some of the main areas here in Bali. So Bali is a pretty big island, of course, but the most visited areas are normally starting from the area around the airport, with the proximity of 20 to 40 minutes drive from that airport. Therefore, we can see the most popular areas currently are Seminyak and Canggu area, if we're speaking about the premium market, and another areas, Uluwatu and Nusa Dua, which we'll also be covering these two areas, Uluwatu and Nusa Dua, in a little bit more detail in the next slides.
係啦，咁其實咧都講下，即係介紹下而家即係巴厘島啦。咁其實咧，自從即係開翻即係自從嗰個 pandemic 過咗之後啦，咁其實都即係旅遊即係都開始復甦啦。咁其實而家即係巴厘島咧，而家最新咧，其實佢個入住率咧係超過70%嘅。係啦，咁其實咧係即係之前其實都大家都知道巴厘島其實都係一個非常之即係受歡迎嘅旅遊嗰個即係 destination 啦，即係大家都會去即係旅行都會揀巴厘島。咁頭先提過，其實佢恢復咗之後啦，咁其實佢而家嗰個流量其實82%已經係恢復差唔多去到之前嗰個水平。咁其實亦都大家可以即係參考翻啦。其實喺 pandemic 之前，其實喺2019年其實超過1600萬嘅遊客係嚟巴厘島。咁所以其實佢嗰個即係如果喺當地去投資佢哋嗰個即係可能即係旅遊啊或者酒店項目咧，其實平均都有個數據出現，就係佢嗰個嘅平均個回報率咧都係差唔多，都係即係超過13%啦。咁啊，另外咧就係其實而家巴厘島會好大，咁其實咧即係。Anatolia 之後喺之後嘅即係之後嘅 slides 咧，都會再同大家再介紹多啲巴厘島啦。咁而其實大家可以見到咧，而家我今日會集中喺度講就係巴厘島南邊嘅，即係而家熒光幕下面咧，即係比較橙色位置邊嗰度。咁其實咧機場咧其實就係啱啱就係喺南邊嗰個頸位嗰度。咁而咧，而喺嗰個機場去而家Mira 佢個項目咧，大概都係即係35分鐘，即係半個鐘嘅車程度，所以其實亦都唔係話好遠。咁但亦都會即係想講下就係佢嘅項目其實比較即係個 value 比較高啲啦，或者可能係投資潛力比較高啲咧，其實會集中喺咧，其實就喺巴厘島佢南邊近海邊，即係你而家見到下面橙色圍住嗰邊就係東邊同埋西邊嘅。係啦，咁所以呢啲咧，其實佢嗰個潛力就會再高啲，因為其實多啲遊客通常都會去選擇喺嗰度嗰啲即係住宿啊、酒店啊，亦都會喺嗰度去即係去旅行，即係等住旅行嗰時入住咯。咁所以其實佢即係你一陣間Tasha 都會講下，其實究竟而家佢嗰個項目嗰個分佈喺邊啊，或者可能係其實佢嗰個回報率而家會係幾多啊？咁呢個就會再講啦。Yep, thank you.
Yeah, so here also you can see a zoom in about different locations as well. Of course, where you see red, it just means a higher occupancy. So it's going from highest to a little bit lower, more inside the island. So there are some key main areas that are interesting for an investment and in general for people that are coming, they like to stay in this area. So there is an area of Canggu. Canggu also one of the most exclusive areas as well is Brava, that is part of Canggu. So this is like an expatriate area, which was actually built as well by the expatriates. So that's why, because it's so popular and famous, with many cafes, restaurants, beach clubs, a lot of people, tourists that are coming, visiting, they want to enjoy a little bit of a lifestyle. They like to come and stay in this area. Then we also have area of Seminyak. That is also more of a premium type of location. This is where you also have all the 5-star resorts, such as W, Potato Head, Kudeta. And then it goes down more towards Kuta. Kuta is a little bit different type of area. It's more like for backpackers. It still has high occupancy, but it's just for a little bit different segment. And then we have another 2 areas. That is Uluwatu here. Normally, it has around 75% occupancy. We have one of our developments, Amali, here, that is located right between Anantara and Radisson, right on the cliff. This area is very famous for beautiful beach, nature. And then the opposite side is Nusa Dua area. That is where you have all the 5-star resorts, such as Ritz-Carlton, Kempinski, Mulia, and so forth. So this is an area which is also famous for a really nice beach. So it's white sand, turquoise water, there is no waves, so it's very suitable for families, for couples that coming and want to enjoy kind of a honeymoon or really like true holiday on the beach. So Nusa Dua area also have around 75% occupancy, but actually even lately we had an article from the government that Nusa Dua actually reached 86% occupancy by October.
係，咁其實咧頭先都有提過啦，其實就係喺巴厘島頭先而家就係巴厘島嘅南邊啦。咁啊南邊咧其實即係嗰個橙色，你一解嘅熒光幕見到咧橙色嘅邊邊咧，其實就係比較受歡迎即係遊客受歡迎嘅位置。咁點解咧？咁例如話我由上面開始睇啦。咁其實上面咧其實就比較多係嘅背包，即係 backpackers 咧佢會住啦。咁啊嗰度就比較多嘅即係都去嗰度遊覽嘅，咁即係下面咧，其實啱啱中間嗰度咧，啱啱個樽頸位咧就係嗰個機場啦。咁所以其實咧個機場其實咧佢上面同埋即係去下面嘅地方咧，其實都好近，大概都係半個鐘頭到嘅啫，係啦。咁啊之後咧，其實咧喺大家可以去左邊啦。咁其實咧就係有個烏魯瓦圖啦。咁其實咧佢呢度咧其實就係即係今日想同大家即係想介紹嘅阿瑪尼呢一個嘅項目啦。咁其實佢嗰個特別嘅地方咧，其實佢除咗咧，其實就係喺嘅沙灘旁邊啦。咁其實佢亦都係喺嗰個咧懸崖上面。咁所以其實大家睇懸崖即係點啊？即係其實懸崖即係喺懸崖上面起出嚟咧，其實會一個超一望無際嘅海景啦，同埋係完全係冇遮擋嘅。係啦，咁呢一個咧亦都係佢其中一個賣點之一啦。咁啊詳細一陣間咧 Natasha 亦都會再介紹多啲。OK 啦，咁之後咧去另外一邊嘅即係另外一邊啦。咁其實咧就係都係一個非常之即係好多受歡迎嘅位啦。咁啊其實咧就係Nusa Dua啦。咁啊其實咧佢呢一個咧就係好佢出名咧就係有一個即係沙灘啦，即係好啲好幼細嘅沙灘文明啦。咁其實咧佢亦都有好多5星級嘅酒店喺嗰度。咁啊當然啦，其實亦都會有另外一個嘅 Mirror 個項目咧，就係 Kiara 就係亦都喺嗰度。咁而喺附近嗰度亦都有唔同，頭先都有5星級酒店，可能有 Ritz-Carlton 啊，有 Wall Garden 啊，有 Grand Hyatt 啊，有 Conrad 啊，其實呢啲嘅。咁所以其實咧呢一個都係唔同嘅即係唔同嘅酒店啊，或者可能係高級嘅即係酒店呢個項目，亦都會喺圍繞住即係喺海邊呢啲嘅位咯。咁所以其實都係即係呢一個會係大家可以當投資嗰陣時，或者可能係會諗下如果我要揀邊度去做投資或者係買邊啲嘅位，其實都可以考慮呢啲嘅位置。咁另外就係佢講到就係話，如果要投資嘅話，都會考慮到嗰入住率嘅問題。咁其實頭先亦都有提過，就係話都會超過，即係開咗關啦，咁亦都會復甦啦，咁亦都超過嗰個入住率咧，就超過75%嘅平均上。咁但係啱啱亦都提過，其實而家嚟緊印尼政府亦都有一個篇嘅 article， 亦都有個文章都會提過咧，就係話嚟緊係10月咧，其實10月打後啦，而家11月啦，10月打後其實咧，亦都有望咧，其實亦嗰個入住率咧係會去到86%。咁所以其實咧嗰個恢復率其實亦都比我想象之中快好多咯，即係開咗關之後嗰個旅遊嗰個回復率。
Thank you. Yeah, and here we also can look at different type of visa as well in terms of the residences, what people can choose if they would like to come and live here, for example. So in terms of the visa, it's really, really simple and easy here. Of course, there is visa on arrival if you're coming here as a tourist, so you can stay 1 to 2 months. But if you would like to stay a little bit longer in Bali, there's also a possibility to get a business visa that costs around $175, and you can stay here up to 6 months a year. Then there is also a possibility to get an investor's kitas, which means that you can become residents here in Bali. The kitas are normally given for 1 or 2 years' time. They can be extended after that. Some of the benefits of the kitas is that basically you can come freely at any time of the year, so you don't have to reapply for a new visa all the time, and you also get different benefits, such as, for example, healthcare discounts, or for example, if you go for different parks and etc., you get as well local price. There is also second home visa. That is something new that was released by the government, and this visa can be received for the duration of 5 to 10 years time.
OK。 係啦，咁其實咧而家都講緊就係，如果我哋去印尼啦，咁或者即係除咗旅遊之外或者投資之外，或者可能有朋友亦都會諗其實我都想度假，或者可能得閒就會嚟印尼去度假，或者可能直情係有興趣想去做一個即係短期居留啊。咁究竟其實如果我唔去，即係如果我唔係以一個嘅旅遊嘅身份，究竟我啲 visa 究竟係點做咧？咁其實而家啱啱都會介紹嘅就基本上有3個嘅，咁其實就有個商務啦，亦都 investor 啦，亦都有 second home 嘅。咁其實佢哋嗰個分別咧，其實就係佢嗰個停留時間啦。其實停留時間，咁而家基本上咧就係個商務簽證可以停留大概係180日啦。咁但係如果係想即係停留居留咗多啲，就可以選擇 investor status 同埋或者 second home visa。咁其實佢哋個居留就會係長啲。咁亦都佢哋都有唔同嘅即係身為即係居留之後咧，亦都係有少少嘅優惠啦，或者可能係你可能有啲唔同嘅，可能你有 healthcare 啊，或者可能你有其他嘅包括個服務喺裏，即係所謂居民服務啦。咁當然啦，即係詳細咧就唔同大家，即係可能都唔同大家詳細再講啦。咁如果大家有興趣嘅話咧，其實亦都可以咧喺我哋 comment box 度留言啦，或者可以直接咧係就去問Natasha。咁其實 Natasha 嗰個 contact 啦、email 啦，同埋佢嗰個WhatsApp 啦，佢嗰個即係電話 number，即係 WhatsApp 嘅電話 number，其實咧都喺我哋嘅 comment box 度嘅，係啦。咁如果大家有興趣啦，即係究竟點去投資即係關於所有嘢，關於係印尼嘅房產啊、投資啊、回報啊，或者可能係而家呢一個 visa 亦都可以留言，即係留言俾 Natasha， 或者可能即係私信或者俾我哋留言啦，即係留言喺 comment box 或者私信俾我哋，咁我哋稍後亦都會覆返大家嘅。
Yeah, and of course, for any investor, it's important also to understand the attractiveness of investing into Indonesia. One of the most important factors, of course, the stable economy. So you can see from this slide that the economy here has been consistently growing at 4 to 5% per annum. And this is a very, very important factor, such as GDP and the cost of living index. So we can even see on this graph that after COVID in 2019, Bali not just quickly recovered its GDP figures, but also it surpassed pre-COVID levels. Since the borders were reopened, the economy has rapidly rebounded.
係啦，咁其實而家就開始就講下嗰個印尼嗰個投資嗰個潛力同埋吸引力喺邊啦。咁其實咧大家都知啦，咁其實喺疫情前咧，咁疫情當中啦，咁當然啦，經濟個 GDP 一定係會即係我諗全世界都係都會有啲下降。咁但係其實印尼有一個好獨特嘅位就係佢當佢開翻關之後咧，其實佢係除咗係上升翻之外咧，其實佢嗰個上升佢嗰個 index 咧，亦都比疫情前更加高。其實而家亦都係去到一個即係平均可以去即係平均上升嗰個趨勢咯。
Yeah, and the next one second. Yeah, so the next important indicator is also the inflation rates here in Indonesia. So this is something that many investors are paying attention to, and Indonesia ranks actually in the top 5 countries with favorable inflation rates. And it's important to look at this indicator to understand what you can buy with a certain amount of money. There are countries, for example, like Turkey, where the indicators are not really stable and inflation is rising. But here the average annual inflation rate does not exceed 5%.
係啦，咁另外一個究竟去釐定究竟佢嗰個投資潛力究竟好唔好咧？其實就係佢嗰個通脹。咁其實咧都而家呢幅圖咧，亦都有提，就都會有提咧，就係話佢嗰個印尼嗰個通脹咧，其實係好穩定嘅。咁其實就算佢嗰個通脹佢都唔會超過5%，咁所以其實喺一個穩定嘅情況之下咧，其實大家嗰個投資咧，其實亦都可以即係比較有穩定嘅回報啦，亦都可以去預測到一個即係容易去預測啦。咁例如話可能頭先 Natasha 亦都會攞土耳其嚟做一個嘅即係一個比較啦。咁其實可能土耳其就未必太過即係穩定嗰個通脹嗰個指數。咁所以其實如果相比起嚟，咁印尼其實亦都會比較適合大家去考慮去做一個投資咯。
Yeah. And the next slide is 1 second. Oh, sorry, this is total inflation. Yeah, and the next slide is the price indexes here in Indonesia. for real estate. So real estate prices are constantly rising. This is what you can see from this graph. So you can see the growth over the last 3 years. And it is essential to say that the residential property prices are very, very stable in their growth. So this graph shows the speed of price growth. And the most crucial aspect here is the trend of the increasing property values, particularly in the secondary market. So this growth is continuous even before and during the pandemic.
係啦，咁啊，另外咧個就係嗰個另外一個睇佢投資物業究竟另外一個指標咧，就係佢嗰個樓價，就係住宅嗰個住宅嗰個樓價啦。咁大家亦都可以喺個熒光幕見到咧，其實佢係都係上升，即係佢係都係 keep 住咁去上升嘅。咁啊，就算佢係喺嗰個即係疫情嗰陣時啦，亦可能就低咗少少啦，但係後尾疫情開咗關之後，其實亦都係上升。即係上升嘅，咁所以亦都反映咗如果大家可能投資咗呢個物業，如果我想轉賣出去，咁其實佢嗰個樓價其實會唔會為大家帶來增值咧？咁呢個大家都可以考慮嘅。
Yeah, and on this slide, we can see the comparison of the real estate prices in different destinations. So we chose here Australia, Thailand, America, and Japan. So real estate is normally chosen based on the price per square meter price. And as you can see, in Bali, the price per square meter is lower than in other destinations like Australia, Thailand, or America. And here in Indonesia, in Bali, we are speaking about the premium segment. And what's important also to understand that for this price, you get in other places, for example, you would just get a concrete empty house, which you still have to decorate and buy all the furniture, appliances, and etc. But here in Bali, this price per square meter already includes furniture, all the appliances, making it a fully ready to live property.
係啦，咁呢個好簡單啦，就係咧除咗頭先嗰個房地即係嗰個二手住宅個市場嗰度上嘅樓價係咁，即都會 keep 住一個穩定嘅上升嘅趨勢之外啦，咁其實同其他國家去比較，即係好似而家澳洲、泰國、美國、日本咁，其實巴厘島佢嗰個即係平方米啦，其實佢嗰個尺價咧，平方米尺價咧，其實比呢幾個國家係會最低嘅。咁亦都啱啱頭先Natasha 都講咗一個重點啦，就係你喺其他國家去買樓，其實你有好多除咗而家俾呢個嘅尺價即係嗰個平方米嘅價錢之外，其實你亦都要有其他嘅支出，例如話可能你會裝修啦、水電煤啦，亦都係有家私嗰啲嘅，即係林總總嘅開支。但係你巴厘島你俾呢一個咁嘅價錢嘅話，其實佢係包晒所有嘢嘅，即係無論係裝修、家私、電器，所有佢都係會包。咁所以其實呢一個咧就係佢嗰個即係個 CP 值咯，係啦。
And on this slide, we can see the appreciation that an investor can get when they purchasing an off-plan property during the construction. So normally construction would be taking from 1.5 to 2 years time. And you can see that here in terms of capitalization, the growth and price appreciation during this construction, Bali actually really overcomes other destinations such as Australia or Thailand and so forward. So this is also something that makes it really, really attractive on this market. So you can buy a property off plan, and once it's completed, you can gain around 40% increase in your asset value.
係啦，咁其實亦都但係如果講緊係投資嘅話咧，其實講緊而家係 off plan 啦，咁其實就係講緊係即係一個項目嘅樓花。咁大家都會諗下啦，如果我買咗一個樓花，咁其實當佢起，通常都起1至2年啦。咁起完之後，咁其實我嗰個即係買咗嗰個物業，其實會唔會升值咧？其實呢一個圖亦都即係反映咗就係巴厘島比喺澳洲、泰國、美國、日本嚟講咧，其實佢嗰個即係升值啦，或者可能叫回本啦，其實佢升值嗰個潛力咧係反映都係最大嘅，個平均值係最高嘅。咁其實就係當可能起完之後，可能1-2年起完啦，其實佢嗰個物業嗰本身個價值已經比起你買嗰陣時已經係高出40%。咁你相比起其他咧，其實呢一個就會比較高。咁亦都大家都考慮下，其實佢嗰個投資嗰個回收期啊、回報率啊呢一樣嘢咧，都係有數得計嘅。
Yeah, and on this slide, we can look at their ROI, the return on the investment, just from the rentals. So here in Bali, of course, the most common type of rental types is the short-term rentals, so nightly or sometimes weekly. And Bali is a leader in terms of the return on the investment. So you can get up to 15% ROI. And such numbers are not you won't be able to find anywhere, even in other Southeastern Asian countries, for example, like Thailand. And main reason here is because of the factors of the ADR, which is average daily rate. So here in Bali, it's around $575 a night for hotels typically located in the beachfront areas, making it a premium segment. So this amount is actually higher than the average on the market, and our complex is allocated in those areas, and in all aspects in terms of their facilities they cover, in terms of the services, they're very much comparable to the premium hotels. That's why we're also able to get this 12 to 15% ROI from the rentals of the property.
係啦。咁其實除咗頭先嗰個即係起完之後嗰個回收期啦，咁其實大家都會諗到就係如果起完之後啦，真係出租啦，咁其實我嗰個回報率究竟係會有即係嗰個回報率係幾多咧？咁其實啱啱 Natasha 亦都會即係都有唔同國家嘅例子出嚟做一個比較啦。咁而巴厘島咧，其實咧亦都係佢喺回報率裏邊咧係會最高，而最大嘅原因咧就係佢以嗰個每日房價係會嗰個最高位嘅。咁係點解咧？係因為巴厘島上面其實好多嘅項目都係一啲即係豪華嘅酒店啦。咁亦都係好多個旅客亦都會因為佢呢一個嘅即係咁靚嘅環境啦，係亦都係會花費去住一咁靚嘅酒店。咁所以其實佢嗰個房價係會去到而家575咧，講緊係美金。咁所以去到呢一個位咧，所以其實佢相比起其他國家嚟講，尤其是泰國啊、美國啊其他佢哋咧，咁佢嗰個回報率咧相比起嚟就會扯高咗啦，咁就會去到12至15% 咯。
Yeah, and another very important factor is as well the liquidity of your asset. So yield is, I think, was pretty clear what we've discussed, but some markets, for example, they're easy to enter, but very hard to exit. For example, we can see that sometimes now in Dubai, from my experiences, what I hear from my clients, but Bali is not one of them. So we do have pretty high demand, of course, on their off-plan properties. So normally majority of our developments, they've been sold out before they're even completed. But at the same time, currently looking at the market, we are seeing that there is a lot of demand for the premium type of properties. And also not just villas, but also apartments. And many people that are looking into this market, they also want a fully managed passive investment. So it has to be a managed property with all the facilities and services, which is a new category currently in Bali. And when we look at this market in general here, we can see that there is a lot of demand for such type of properties, but not enough supply. So you can see that from the ratio of how we are sold out very fast during the construction. So this means that even in the secondary market, you still have a lot of demand for this type of properties, which means that you could easily resell it in 1 or 2, 3 years time if you're looking for kind of short-term gains. So markets still capable, to accommodate this client. So we have around, there's a lot of demand, for example, 3,000 square meter demand on a yearly basis, but currently the market is only filled for 170,000 square meters. So there is still a lot of room as well for that growth for the resales. Because also the people that want to buy something ready, they have really, really limited choices if we're speaking about the premium type of properties.
係啦，咁其實啱啱提到啦，其實都講咗頭先唔同嘅投資潛力啊，佢嗰個回報率啊嗰個，咁其實大家可能都會即係尤其是買樓花或者係買啲未起嘅項目，其實大家都會有個憂慮就係我好容易入場，但我好難去賣出去。咁其實咧，呢一個啱啱其實 Natasha 亦都講，其實佢嗰個呢一個情況咧，其實就喺而家喺印尼巴厘島呢個即係酒店項目裏邊咧，其實就比較少出現，或者係冇可能好難會出現呢個情況。咁點解咧？其實係因為佢哋嗰個流動性好大、好高嘅。其實有好多項目咧，其實佢喺賣即係喺起完之前咧，其實已經可以賣翻出去啦。係啦，咁亦都呢個其中一個因素啦。第二就係其實佢嗰個喺供應裏邊咧，即係佢嗰個即係呢一個類別嘅項目咧，喺當地供應咧，其實係好少。咁所以其實當佢就算真係起好咗啦，佢去到一個二手市場嗰度，其實佢亦都係好大嘅需求咯。咁所以其實就係當佢嗰個即係需求即係嗰個需求大過供應嘅情況之下咧，佢嗰個流動性就會增加。咁所以其實亦都係唔難賣出去，亦都好容易嘅。 咁所以其實當然啦，大家如果有啲乜嘢嘅可能即係想即係知道詳細多少少啊，或者可能想知道多啲數據啊，亦都可以聯絡聯絡 Natasha。其實我相信佢都好樂意會為大家去解答呢個問題，或者提供多啲數據咯。
So just to sum up everything we've just discussed, some of the top 5 reasons why investing in Bali is, of course, a very high ROI, so you can get up to 15% from the rental returns. You don't have seasons here, it's only one season, and it's very attractive because you have around 27, 28 degrees throughout the year. It is a very affordable price to enter this market to purchase something, because the average price per square meter is around $3,000. You have the highest average room rate per night here in Southeastern Asia. And also you have a lot of demand but not enough supply on the market.
係啦，咁其實咧呢一個就係一個即係總括啦。頭先Tasha 佢介紹一個即係嗰個點解去投資巴厘島房產嘅理由。咁其實可以同大家 recap 下啦。咁首先咧就係佢嗰個回報率咧係差唔多最高國家之一，去到15%啦。咁其實佢個盈利能力其實係可以 keep 住嘅，一係冇季節性，因為巴厘島都係即係四季都係夏天啦。咁其實咧好多遊客基本上都會長期 keep 住都會去嘅。咁所以其實都會入住咯。所以到頭先都有提過啦，已經可以到75%至86%啦已經。咁同埋佢嗰個物業佢嗰個入門檻啊，其實就會比較低啲。咁佢頭先都係差唔多係即係好多國家，即係相比起其他例如話可能係美國、澳洲、日本、泰國等等，其實佢嗰個平均成本都係比較低啲個尺價啦。咁啊，另外就係嗰個房價咧，就因為好多頭先講好多個好靚豪華嘅酒店都係聚焦喺晒巴厘島嗰度，咁所以其實佢可以 hold 到佢個房價咧，就會係差唔多係全球最貴之一最高啦。咁所以其實亦都可以計翻就係佢嗰個你比入門檻低，但係你個房價高，咁所以其實你嗰個回報咧就會比較可以扯得高啲啦。咁最後就係佢嗰個係供應短缺嘅，咁亦都係之前嘅因為嗰個疫情啦，亦都會即係可能延遲咗少少嘅建築啦。咁但係其實佢本身佢嗰個需求都係好大，而個供應量都係少，咁所以令到就係佢嗰個房真係咁吸引咯。
Yeah, so here we can discuss about different available strategies here in Bali, in Indonesia. So there is normally around 4 strategies. The first strategy is about flipping. So you buy something off plan and then you resell once the property is completed. So with this type of strategy, investors are normally gaining 30 to 50% in price increase. So that's the gains that they can get. Another strategy is just purely rental strategy. So this is something that they're just the investors choosing for long term, so they get 10 to 15% ROI per year, and they also can get around 10% of appreciation on a yearly basis for the asset. The third strategy is a mixed strategy, so sometimes people are still preferring to purchase something off plan, so they can get the gains during the appreciation during the construction period, and then they still get the rental returns on a yearly basis, and maybe they're looking to resell this property in 4 to 5 year times. And of course, the last strategy is about the residential. So many people are purchasing property here just to have it as a holiday home or to live here 6 months of a year, or sometimes they're moving here full time. So for that case, it's mainly about the gains that they can get for the appreciation of the property during the time that they use it, if they want to resell it later. And of course, if they still want to rent it out, like half time of the time, they still can get some nice returns.
係啦，咁啊其實咧即係當投資啦，咁其實 Natasha 亦都係非常之貼心啦，同我哋再進一步去講解就係，如果你要投資即係印尼嘅房產嘅話，其實有啲乜嘢嘅 strategy 有啲咩策略咧？咁你大概係有4個㗎。咁其實咧而家就會見到啦，就其實就係你喺即係買咗個樓花啦，喺佢起之前你就去賣啦。咁其實咧頭先都提過啦，佢嗰個升值潛力係好大。咁所以其實就算你係喺佢起完之前，你去賣出去咧，其實佢都係會有個升值潛力，都會有個即係喺嗰個房價都會有一個升值啦 appreciation 啦。OK 啦，咁啊另外咧，其實亦都係會有其他另外2、3、4咧，其實分別咧，其實就係你就會去租出去啦。咁亦都當然啦，喺你租出去嘅情況之後，租出去情況之外咧，其實你除咗你有個租金回報，咁你本身你個物業亦都係會有一個嘅升值嘅。係啦，咁啊另外咧就係你租出去之後，你再去賣翻出去啦，咁亦都係會有即係都係會有租出去啦、賣出去啦，同埋你嗰個嘅嗰個物業嗰個升值啦。咁 咁第四最後嗰個咧，其實就係如果我係想即係想去咗一個 holiday home 啦，其實我係想去自己住，咁其實佢本身亦都除咗你都係會有一個嘅物業嗰個升值，咁所以其實呢四樣嘢咧，其實亦都係即係都會想話俾大家聽，其實佢嗰個物業其實無論你去點做都好，其實佢自己本身個物業都係會有個升值嗰個潛力喺度咯。
Yeah, so here we can look at some real cases, examples of some of our projects. So this is when we are speaking about the flipping strategy. So for example, in development Sakana Beach Town, one located in Brava area. So we totally have here around 90 units. The starting price for some of the apartments in the beginning of the construction was around 170,000 USD. And by the completion, some of the latest resales that we had were around 280,000 USD. So already those investors that entered on an early stage, they were able to get 65% increase in terms of the appreciation of the asset if they are doing the short-term strategy and they do the flipping.
係啦，咁其實咧頭先都講咗唔同嘅策略啦，咁其實亦都有啲真實嘅案例 case study 亦都可以俾大家去做一個參考啦。即係例如話係一個嘅我買咗個樓花翻嚟，之後我要去轉售出去，咁其實係點咧？就係可能而家即係啱啱開始呢一個其中一個項目叫做即係Sakana Beach Town 啦。咁其實佢買其中一個就係買入嚟嗰時就係大概係17萬美金。咁但係經過幾年之後，其實2年啦，其實當佢差唔多起完啦，我要賣翻出去嗰時，其實已經可以去賣到28萬。咁其實喺呢一個差嗰個 difference 裏邊，一個相差裏邊咧，其實就係超過65%、65.5%，其實就係嗰個增值咯。咁所以其實就係當你所以亦都係印證咗頭先Tasha 就講，我入場容易，其實我想 exit， 即係我好想買翻出去，其實都係容易，因為佢流動性好大啦，個需求亦都大。咁呢個亦都可以一個真實案例，亦都可以話到俾大家聽，其實佢個升值嗰個潛力去到邊咯。
Yeah, and then the next case study is just the rental strategy. So here what we are looking at is actually a 6-bedroom villa. So the reason we wanted to look at it is just to emphasize that the demand is still there and you can still get really profitable returns in the investment, even if you have a larger, more expensive unit, because this villa is 6-bedroom villa and the price is around 3.2 million USD. So regardless of the cost size, if the property is right and well managed and located in a popular location, it's still gonna do really, really well. And here we can see some of the actual figures. This property was started to operate in 2022, which was right after the pandemic. And even in the year one, it already managed to do 13% ROI. And as we can see, the price for the nightly rentals, it is increasing actually. As of now, if you look up this villa on Airbnb, the average price per year is around $2,500 already. But what you can see is that your returns are increasing, but your actual costs are still remaining the same. So by the cost, I mean the expenses that you have to spend for the staff, utilities, and etc., etc. So even such a big unit, you can also get all the way up to 15% ROI.
係啦，咁另外一個第二個案例就係如果我唔轉售啦，咁我要租出去啦。咁我租出去嘅話，其實佢究竟個情況會係點啦？咁其實啱啱而家呢一個咧就以一個比較貴啲嘅項目去講啦。咁其實呢一個本身咧，其實就係大概係200幾萬美金嘅。咁就一個嘅6房嘅一個好靚嘅 villa 啦，一個嘅公寓啦。咁其實咧佢租出去嗰時，其實就係想顯示就係佢喺2022年嗰時，佢係諗住大概13%，點知去到實際上而家去到2023年，大家可以睇到即係 highlight 咗嗰個 column 啦，其實已經係差唔多去到15%啦。咁其實亦都係就係講緊就係佢嗰個需求會喺度啦，同埋嗰個基本開銷其實你見到其實佢喺其實喺2022、2023同埋實際上嘅2023，其實佢個基本即係佢基本支出咧，即係可能成個可能佢 maintenance 啊，或者可能係佢即係個 management fee 啊嗰啲，其實都係冇變過個開支嘅 expenses 係冇變嘅。咁但係佢嗰個收入咧，其實就係會上升，即係最後係會顯示到係上升，亦都去14.6% 咯。咁所以呢個亦都係可以就係話呢個嗰個投資佢嗰個潛力個位去到邊啊
？Yeah, and the third case study is the mixed strategy. So this was a case of a 3-bedroom villa, which was bought off plan by the investor. And we've just done calculation of, for example, what is the cumulative return on the investment would be. So you can see that the price was 520,000 USD by the completion that was completed end of 2022. The villa was already valued around 820,000 USD. So this is around 57% increase in value. And then we can see the rental return that start from 13% and they go up by year 25 by the projection up to 15%. The reason to this is that normally by year three and onwards, it's already stabilizing. So this is the highest normally return on investment you can get. And then we included also the yearly appreciation of the asset, which here we still choose a very conservative number of 6%. Normally it can get all the way up to 10%. So you can see the accumulative return and the payback on the investment for the investor if he was to, let's say, resell the property after around 2 years' time, in 2024, next year, if they were to resell it, they can get all the money back. So it's around $500,000 back, including the appreciation during the construction, rental return, and the yearly appreciation.
係啦，咁啊呢一個咧，其實就係以一個即係出租啦，同埋轉售一個混合策略去做一個嘅例子啦。咁其實呢一個係一個3房嘅 villa 啦。咁其實佢當初咧，其實就係呢一個就顯示到其實佢購買嗰個價格就係52萬。咁但係其實當佢過咗幾年之後，其實你見到而家嗰個即係累積嗰個增值啦，其實就已經可以去到最後嘅2027年去到80幾萬啦。呢個就累積啦。咁所以就係話呢一個佢即係你無論係顯示到佢嗰個物業佢自己本身佢嗰個需求啦，同埋佢嗰個本身物業佢喺當地嗰個 value 嗰個增值咧，其實亦都係一個好大。咁其實到最後其實年度增值睇到係6%，其實呢一個咧其實就係一個比較保守啲嘅估算啦。咁但係其實如果可能去到可能實際上可能亦都可能會比6%更加多。
Yeah, and here is just another, this is a little bit about the ownership as well here in Bali. And this is an explanation also why the ROI here in Bali is so high. The majority of the ROI is so high is because 99% of the transaction of the property purchases are actually leaseholds. So the leasehold actually it is a very easy way to purchase property here. It goes directly on the personal name of the owner. The leaseholds, majority of the leaseholds here in Bali are around 25 years. However, we in Mira Investment Development, we are offering from 55 to 150 years total leasehold for the properties. So it's very, very attractive as it's a very long leasehold duration on the market comparing to what's available in general. And it's also a possibility to make a purchase remotely, so you don't have to be present to do that here. And of course, for the leasehold, you have a better value for the square meter price. So that's why majority of the people for the investment, they would still choose a leasehold. There is also a possibility to own a freehold property. The difference basically is that the price normally of this property is a little bit more expensive, so you wouldn't be getting such a high ROI. So normally the freehold property, the expensive 2 to 3 times more than the leasehold property. And to structure such an ownership, you would have to open a foreign investment company here in Indonesia. So for that, you would have to be present here to do such a purchase.
係啦，咁啊呢度咧，其實咧就係另一個原因，想講下點解佢嗰個投資回報率會咁高啦，即係投資印尼房產。咁啊，其實咧基本上咧喺印尼裏邊，其實就喺個物業權裏邊有兩隻嘅，一個咧就係即係 leasehold 啦，租賃權啦，另一個就係 freehold 永久業權。咁其實大家可能初頭都會諗其實永久業權會唔會係一個好啲咧？係即係屬於自己嘅嘢啦。咁但係其實咧喺印尼巴厘島呢一個嘅即係 case 嚟講咧，就可能未必啦。咁點解咧？就係基本上而家所有個項目大概99% 咧都係 leasehold 嘅。咁啊而 leasehold 其實佢比較嘅一個特點咧，就係想佢嗰個即係入個項目嘅入門門檻低啦，個價錢啦低啲啦。咁雖然佢嗰個平均嗰個即係 leasehold 嗰個佢期限咧係25年。咁但係咧 Mira 其實呢個開發商咁大啦，其實佢可以 offer 到咧就大概係55至150年。咁所以其實基本上都好長啦，其實亦都係啦。咁同埋其實亦都係可以係一個即係遠程去註冊或者遠程去做一個呢個 transaction 嘅。 係啦，咁當你如果都係永久業權，其實佢係一個屬於比較細嘅比率，係1% 度啦。點解咧？其實當然啦，永久業權你係可以擁有佢，咁但係其實你首先你一定要個人喺嗰邊啦，同埋你一定要開一個個人名義去註冊啦，公司啦，咁同埋其實就係佢本身佢嗰個成本係比較高，咁亦都係佢嗰個房價，佢通常嗰個成本啊，房價亦都係比即係 leasehold 嘅房價佢哋嗰啲咧係會高2-3倍，咁同埋其實佢嗰個即係供應都係比較少啲，同埋比較貴啲啦。咁所以其實如果講喺回報率啦，或者可能係流動性啊，或者可能係即係你想即係快啲轉售出去咧，其實好多人都會選擇去做呢個 leasehold 咯。所以點解佢嗰個即係嗰個回報率會咁高？其實大家都會去選擇嗰個租賃權嘅。
Yeah, and even if it may seem sometimes that leasehold can affect the price growth, but this is actually not the case here in Bali, in Indonesia, because the land value actually is steadily increasing in value on the market, and each new property is more expensive to build with every year. And with such high demand, this all pushes the prices up. So even when you see that, for example, the leasehold is around at least 35 years, for example, you still can see the gross appreciation in the first 10 years. The price still increasing quite steadily. Therefore, the best investment period is for 5 years. But with our projects, because we are offering such a long lease on the development compared to what's on the market, you can also consider a 10-year investment plan due to the longer lease period, of course.
係啦，咁大家亦都可能如果我要做投資嘅話，其實都會有唔同嘅計劃，可能有5年、有10年。咁其實咧，大家都可以即係視乎大家嘅選擇去釐定呢一個計劃啦。咁其實通常咧，可能即係個租賃期如果比較短，其實大家只可能諗3至5年啊，5年到啦。咁但係因為而家呢個 Mira 其實佢係可以去 offer 到一個比較長嘅即係長嘅租賃期。咁所以其實大家亦都可以去計劃一啲長啲嘅投資計劃，例如可能係10年或以上。咁10年或以上，其實大家喺個圖都見到啦。其實佢嗰個房價，佢嗰本身嗰個物業嗰個價值咧，其實都係按年咁去上升。咁所以如果以一個10年嚟講咧，其實嗰個回報率都好計，亦都係容易計得同埋比較大啲咯。
Yeah, and now we can move towards the interesting part as well. We can discuss some of our projects. And the first development that we will discuss is Amali Residence. So just a quick sum up, it's located in Bali, in Uluwatu area. The size of the land is around 11,000 square meters, and it's total around 106 apartments and penthouses. The projected ROI here is 10 to 13%. You have a really long lease offer here. It's 115 years, and you have 24 months payment schedule. And this is the location of where Amali is located. So if we still remember the map of Bali, the bottom part is the Bukit area. We call the whole this half island Bukit area. And then on the left side is the Uluwatu area, a very, very happening and growing neighborhood.
係啦，咁其實我哋都我哋開始就介紹我哋今日想第一個同介紹嘅項目咧，就係Amali呢一個嘅豪華，即係豪華住宅公寓啦。咁其實咧頭先喺較早之前都同大家講過，即係巴厘島佢嗰個，因為巴厘島好大。咁其實咧，佢而家好大部分好多即係嘅luxury residence 啊，或者可能係啲 hotels 啊，其實佢哋都會聚集喺巴厘島嘅南邊，即係下面嗰個地方，即係而家見到嗰個位置。咁而呢一個嘅呢一個Amali呢一個嘅項目，其實就喺烏魯雅圖佢呢一個嘅地方嗰度。咁其實咧，佢大概佢係有佢喺嗰個懸崖上面啦。咁其實亦都係頭先都有提過啦。其實佢都可以佢係建咗喺懸崖上面，大概超過係11000平方米。咁係一個無敵嘅大海景啦，無遮擋啦。咁其實佢提供116間嘅公寓。咁亦都係就係佢嗰個回報率咧，大概10至13%。咁佢嗰個頭先嘅租賃期咧，因為其實 Mira 佢可以提供一個長嘅 leasehold 嘅嗰個 period 嘅，咁就佢150年啦，咁一定夠啦。咁同埋其實最大一個特點其實比較好嘅咧，其實係可以有個24個月嘅分期付款。咁其實究竟24個月究竟點分期付款，或者其實佢個 plan 咧，究竟其實佢嗰個分期付款究竟點去運作咧？咁我哋就等繼續Natasha 繼續同我哋介紹啦。
Yeah, so Amali is located in the southern part of Bali, and this is the most beautiful and the most famous area for its beautiful nature, for the cliffy rocks. This is the sunset area as well, and Amali will be built right on the cliff. You're surrounded from 10 to 15 minutes drive, you have a variety of different beautiful beach. They all have this type of rocky structure, but it's white sand, turquoise water. It's also a very famous area for surfing, but not just for surfing. You can also enjoy a little bit of the beach. So this is an area where we are building. Bingin Beach as well is also really, really famous. It's very happening now, and where you also have a variety of cafes, restaurants in the area. You have paddle as well. So kind of all the infrastructure and becoming really, really trendy area, following right after the Canggu success.
係啦。咁其實咧呢一個嘅或者要詳細講下呢一個項目，其實佢其中幾個特點啦、亮點啦。其實首先佢係一個懸崖上面起嘅，咁所以其實懸崖上面起，其實都講咗啦，其實就會係一個超無遮擋嘅海景啦。咁其實佢提供佢116間嘅公寓裏邊，其實基本上都係可以，大部分都可以望到有咁靚嘅景色啦。咁啊，另外咧，其實就係佢呢一個嘅位置，雖然喺懸崖上面，但係其實佢基本上去唔同嘅好多好靚嘅沙灘啦，其實都係大概10至15分鐘嘅車程。咁啊，另外呢一個咧就係一個酒店式嘅公寓啦。咁其實佢係有唔同嘅設施喺裏邊啦，即係無論可能係你住喺裏面，其實一個度假衣食住行都有㗎啦。即係例如話可能有嘅一個禮賓服務啦 concierge 啦，咁你都係有餐廳啦，有酒吧啦，有 SPA 啦，其實有唔同嘅設施。其實而家見到幅圖咁靚一個嘅無邊際泳池啦，其實大家亦都可以感受到，如果我去嗰個度假，其實我真係可以喺裏邊唔出嚟。喺裏邊都可以玩幾日，之後就算我要去遊覽呢個巴厘島，我亦都可以都係好短嘅車，都係10至15分鐘車程去到唔同嘅沙灘，都係可以享受到咯。
Yeah, so this is the only cliffront residence here in Bali, and it has all type of variety facilities. So it has 2 lobbies, it has spa, co-working space, gym. You have all the facilities like as if you were staying in the resort. So it's something similar to Ritz-Carlton residences, and it is currently under construction. So we already started the construction of this property. It has 2 pools as well. One is the infinity pool, which is around 68 meters. And then this building has 2 parts, two buildings, one beach cliff side and one island side. So island side, the second part of the building has another pool, also 43 meters. This is branded residences, so all the staff will be wearing uniforms, everything branded with the logo, bathrobes, towels, all the toiletries, and you will have also 24/7 service within this development. So you'll have really upscale gym facilities, which will be really a proper gym, like if you were going to get a membership in a standard gym. So it's not like a typical resort, one treadmill gym, but you have different group classes, yoga, Pilates, dance studio, and also the facilities for the restaurants. So we also collaborating together with the Sunset Hospitality, which is one of the largest Dubai F&B group. So we'll be doing also 3 really upscale, trendy restaurants. One is El Amo, Sachi, the Japanese food, and also another Western restaurant. As well, part of the facilities is the kids club in the development. And the next thing that we will be looking at is some of the renders of the property.
係啦，咁喺介紹呢一個項目嘅公寓裏邊嘅咁靚嘅圖之前啦，咁其實咧都想即係講啲少少啱啱Natasha 都講咗一啲特點喺度嘅。咁其實咧Amani呢一個項目咧係喺巴厘島上面唯一一個嘅項目係喺懸崖上面去起出嚟嘅。咁所以其實呢一個係一個好獨特嘅賣點啦，因為其實如果佢可能喺其實喺懸崖上面即係一個比較高嘅位置啦，咁同埋另外就係都係啦無遮擋大海景啦，咁呢一個係非常之大嘅一個嘅。比起其他唔同嘅項目嚟講，呢一個有好大嘅賣點同埋優勢。咁啊，另外頭先都會講咗係呢一個嘅項目裏邊有唔同嘅設施。咁除咗可能你食，即係可能你食無論好多國家嘅餐廳食物都會有啦，即係可能有杜拜即係你可能有杜拜都好大嘅集團去主理佢哋嗰個西餐啦，或者可能有日式餐廳啦，有唔同嘅 gym 啦，又可能亦都有唔同嘅堂俾你去上咧，亦都唔係就咁你就咁入去做啦，亦都有可能提供唔同嘅 嘅堂俾你可以去參加嘅。咁你可能亦都係適合家庭啦，即係家庭去住。咁呢度有唔同嘅即係兒童遊樂室啊，或者可能有其他唔同嘅設施啊。咁呢一個唔同嘅嘅裏邊嗰個配套咧，其實就好似 Ritz-Carlton Residence 咁嘅，都係以一個豪華啦，以一個奢華嘅 branding 啊，或者係以奢華嘅風格去呢個路線去走嘅，係啦。
Yeah, and now we're going to look at some of the designs of the property. So there are different type of units. There's 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedroom units. Now the particular one we're looking at is the ocean-facing penthouse. So they do come all fully furnished and equipped as you see them, with all the decorations, with all the appliances. We are using really high-end materials, so we're using only solid woods, and we're using iron wood such as uling and teak. All the appliances and sanitaries are Miele or Kohler brand. So they're really, really trendy. They have this kind of a little bit of Mediterranean style, Bali vibe, and as well the European taste, because the architect is actually from France, which is Alexia Dubus. Yeah, so this is the designs, and this is not just for an inspiration. This is actually what it will look like once it's completed. You have fully equipped kitchens as well, with double-door fridge, exhaust pipe, induction stove. So it's also a proper apartment that you can use as a residence for yourself and can live there very comfortably full-time. Or alternatively, we are offering a fully managed services to rent out this property on your behalf.
係啦，咁其實頭先啱啱咧頭先啱啱過幾個嘅slices 啦，咁啊其實亦都可以顯示到咧，其實佢係頭先以一個嘅面向海景嘅公寓嘅複式公寓去做一個例子啦。咁啊裏邊咧其實都係間隔非常寬敞啦，咁其實佢個樓底亦都好高啦。咁啊其實無論你係自住又好，或者可能你出租都好啦，其實都係非常之方便。咁因為啱啱亦都講咗就係佢成個呢個嘅項目公寓佢全部都係 fully furnished， 即係全部裏面嘅家私家電全部都係會有晒嘅，咁所以其實亦都係包括喺價錢裏邊。咁呢一個亦都係一個即係非常之方便啦，就咁入嚟住又得，你出租亦都好方便，你都唔需要自己去諗究竟點去裝修啊，或者點去管理，因為其實即係 Mira 就會幫你管理埋呢樣嘢，即係幫你揾租客或者租出去都會再管理埋嘅。
Yeah, so here is just the price list on the property. So just to give a little brief understanding of what's available. So the price is starting from 355,000 USD, and they go up all the way up to 3 million, considering two parts of the property. So all the prices are fixed in IDR, so in Indonesian currency. So USD, the price here that you see is just a guide to get kind of a head around. The units are sized from 74 square meters in size. They come fully furnished and equipped, as we've discussed earlier. The price does not include the VAT and the notary fee. So the VAT here in Indonesia is 11% and the notary fee is 1%. So towards the price that you see here, for example, if 355,000 USD, you would still have to add 11% VAT and 1% notary fee. And for the payment terms, we are offering really, really flexible payment plans. So it's 30% down payment, and the remaining 70% you can pay within 24 months, monthly or quarterly installments. So you don't have to pay anything up front. You pay as we build.
係啦，咁其實或者我總結下啦，其實佢而家呢個價目表其實有幾樣嘢都係可以值得 highlight 出嚟嘅。首先咧，其實就係佢呢一個嘅項目啦，佢個戶型咧其實就係由1房啦、2房啦、3房啦。咁其實佢個嗰個標價咧，其實就係由美金355萬35萬5起嘅。咁其實大概港紙大概係270零萬到啦。咁佢個面積咧大概係74平方米，咁即大概係即係接近800尺啦。咁當然啦，其實亦都會有再即係2房、3房咁，或者可能係複式啊，或者頂層公寓會再唔同嘅價格啦。咁其實佢呢個所有嘅單位咧都係即係 fully furnished 嘅。都係全部都係有晒所有嘅裝修啊、家私啊、家電啊都會有晒。咁佢另外一個咧一個比較特別嘅地方咧，其實就係首先佢嗰個booking fee 咧，其實大概就係即係以呢個2000萬印尼盾啦。咁啊，其實大概都係冇話2000，好似好多咁樣，其實都係大概1萬蚊，即係1萬蚊港紙鬆啲一個嘅一個 booking fee。咁其實佢係可以退嘅，即係如果你俾有 2個禮拜時間考慮啦。咁如果兩個禮拜之後，如果我都係可能我想都係唔買啦，咁其實都係100% 退翻俾你嘅。咁另外咧就係其實佢頭先講嗰個即係美金個價錢可能係35萬幾啊嗰啲咧，咁其實都係一個嘅參考，即係參考嗰個價錢啦。因為其實佢當地去買印尼樓咧係以印尼盾，即係以當地嘅貨幣為主嘅，咁所以美金嗰個就參考。咁到時候如果買嗰時咧係要即係去兌換，即係去即係以印尼盾去買啦。咁另外咧其實就係佢嗰個首先佢俾咗嗰個 booking fee 啦，咁之後咧就係佢首先要俾30% 嘅deposit 啦。咁另外咧30% deposit 之後咧，其實亦都可以去傾翻，其實就係嗰個分期付款就係24個月嘅。咁即係你嗰剩翻70% 咧，就可以以2年分期去攤還啦。咁另外就係喺印尼裏邊咧，其實係有銷售稅同埋公證費嘅。咁銷售稅咧其實就冇包括喺而家呢一度嘅價錢裏邊，即係所以就可能係35萬幾嘅美金上面再 on top 再加11% 嘅增值稅銷售增值稅啦。咁另外咧就係仲有1% 就係公證費。咁公證費咧其實就係佢即係嗰個文件上面啦，同埋成個物業個 transaction 佢嘅公證。咁所以其實呢啲都係必須要俾嘅。
Yeah, and you have a very flexible management program as well. So there is no limitation for the owner stay. You can use it as a full-time residence, or you can use it as well as a passive investment. If you're using it as a passive investment, you get your returns every 6 months. And we will also discuss the business model with the next project, which is very similar to this one as well. But yeah, we cover all the expenses. We charge only 30% management fee, which covers all the OTA expenses like online travel agents such as Booking.com, Airbnb, and so on. And we also cover 3% sinking fund for future refurbishments. If you do stay there yourself, you do have to pay for the electricity and different utility costs. But if it's rented out, you don't have to pay it. You just get your passive return every 6 months. So yeah, this is one of the good benefit also of Amalis, because it's also an off-plan property. So you can also gain to the price that you currently saw around 30 to 40% once the property is completed, and also the yearly annual return here from year 1 to year 5, it's an average within the 5 years around 12% per annum. And some of the main benefits of investing in Amali luxury residence is, of course, it's because it's the only cliffront residence. It has a private beach access as well. So there is an elevator that will take you down to the beach. It's a very unique infrastructure, and it's a really complete infrastructure, same like in the resort. And this is a really long period holding. So it's 150-year lease, and you have a very attractive anticipated ROI and as well the capitalization during the construction.
係啦，咁其實頭先都有講啦，除咗講咗嗰個即係價錢啊，或者係嗰個即係我無論係 booking fee、deposit 24個月分期付款之外啦，咁其實如果可能各位都有問啦，我係咪一定要租出去嘅？其實又唔係嘅。咁其實咧，大家可以選擇就係，如果我係即係諗住自己，我係諗住買嚟自己住嘅，冇問題。咁我買嚟自己住嘅話咧，其實就係即係水電煤自己俾啦。咁但係咧，其實就係基本上裏邊所有嘅設施都係包晒嘅。但係如果你租嘅話咧，你租出去咧，其實就會有啲你嗰個水電煤啊，或者可能係嗰啲管理嗰啲咧，就唔需要去，即係水電煤係唔需要自己俾錢啦，因為你租出去噶嘛。咁你租出去嘅話咧，其實就係每6個月咧，其實佢會就即係同你即係總結一次嘅租金啦。其實嗰當然啦，咁個管理費係點咧？個管理咧其實就係因為佢會幫你租出去啊嘛。咁其實佢會收大概30% 到嘅。咁其實究竟30%，哇，好似好多。其實究竟點解會有呢樣嘢咧？咁首先30% 就係咁，佢都要幫你去打廣告噶嘛。咁喺唔同嘅即係酒店啊，或者可能係公寓啊嗰啲嘅網上嘅即係網上平台幫你打廣告啦。咁其實全部包晒落去嘅。咁其實喺嗰度嗰啲平台幫你揾租客。咁所以其實就會有一個管理費出現啦。咁亦都會有3% 嘅 sinking fee， 其實就係會係嗰個即係叫個基本就係嗰個項目或者係嗰個公寓裏邊嗰個維修，或者可能即係身為業主要俾一啲嘅即係維修管理費落去啦，到3% 嘅。咁一個咧就係佢基本上你可以選擇自住或者你出租。另外咧其實就係 阿瑪尼呢一個嘅項目咧，其實或者再講一次個賣點啦，其實就係佢係唯一一個喺懸崖上面去起可以享受到即係無遮擋嘅海景啦，佢有私人電梯去私人海灘啦，咁啊亦都係佢好獨特嘅嗰個infrastructure， 其實就嗰個即係嗰個懸崖上面啦，咁啊亦佢嗰個就有嗰個即係infinity pool 啦，咁亦都係一個好靚嘅一個設施啦。咁啊另外就係佢嗰個租賃期就比起普通嘅大概可能25年嘅話，其實佢可以 mirror offer 到150年。咁啊，另外就係其實佢嗰個租金回報率其實頭先都提過啦，可以去到11.9%。咁其實呢個亦都會成為佢即係呢一個咁大嘅賣點咯。
And the next property that we will look at is Kiara Beachfront. So this is another beachfront development in Nusa Dua area. It is on the land size around 7,000 square meters and will be 94 apartments, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom options. The anticipated ROI 10 to 15%. This is a shorter lease ownership, so this is 35 years and it's extendable for another 20 years. And it has 18 months payment schedule. It is located in the really top premium area of Nusa Dua, so this is an area famous for white sandy beach. And as you can see also on the slide, on the right side, all the right side is all full with the 5-star resort. So it's really, really one of the most attractive areas as well for many people to come and stay here. It is very strategically located. It's only 15 minutes to the airport by the toll road. So we have a fast road here as well. And you're also connected to different areas that are nearby here. So you have Jimboran Beach as well. You have Uluwatu area, and also up from this toll road, you can access as well to the Sanur area.
係啦，咁啊而家咧啱啱講完阿瑪尼呢一個嘅項目啦，咁其實我哋講緊另外一個想同大家介紹個項目咧就係 Kiara。咁啊，你頭先阿瑪尼咧，其實就喺巴厘島下面南邊嗰個位咧，其實嘅左邊。咁其實而家 Kiara 咧就喺右邊，其實而家熒光幕見到咧，其實就係右邊嗰一笪嘅。咁其實呢一笪嗰個地方其實咁特別咧，其實就係因為佢本身係一個好長嘅，即係好聞名啦，即係好著名嘅白色沙灘。咁其實既然係咁著名，其實就會吸引咗好多嘅遊客咧，就專程嚟到呢度去旅遊嘅。咁所以就要吸引咗唔同嘅好多嘅高級啊，或者係即係一啲高級嘅酒店品牌啦，亦都喺嗰度就會起佢哋嘅酒店啦，或者可能係嗰啲嘅住宿啦。咁所以其實 Kiara 亦都會喺呢一個嘅地方有佢自己，即係其中一個，即係佢自己都會喺嗰度起啦，即係呢個項目啦。咁其實佢係好近，即係其實佢另外一個就係佢喺機場，即係距離機場咧，其實非常之近，就係即係大概15分鐘到。咁亦都去，即係其實去差唔多都係半個鐘頭內就可以去到唔同嘅地方啦。例如話可能係即係可能打高爾夫，可能都係10分鐘內到啦。佢去嗰個去到唔同嘅地方都係30分鐘內。咁所以都係非常之方便啦。所以點解亦都會成為唔同，即係好多嘅遊客都會吸引到去呢個地方咯。
Yeah, so Kiara is the only beachfront residence. As you can see on the slide, this is the land area. So it is located right on the beach. We have private beach access as well. The beach will be also with the facilities, with the day beds. And this is actually the photo of the whole area itself. So it is what it is. It is what it's on the photos. It is really white, sandy, very tranquil area, very green, with turquoise water. You have different beach also with proximity, like 5 to 15 minutes drive as well. You can also enjoy different attractions. There is also Turtle Island. There is a park. There's a lot of different cafes and restaurants. Some of them are located in the resort, so you can be sure that you will get a really, really great service. You have 2 golf clubs. You have a helipad as well in the area. And if we are speaking about the property itself, it also has all the facilities that you would need as a resident or as just a short-term guest. So it's 94 units, 1, 2, 3 bedroom options with gym, 2 restaurants, co-working space, kids playground, and there is also 2 swimming pool in this development.
係啦。咁啊，其實呢一個嘅Kiara呢一個項目啦，其實佢同阿瑪尼其實都好多相似嘅，都係一個奢華嘅路線啦，都係一個非常之方便嘅位置啦。 咁其實佢唯有啲唔同嘅咧，其實就係佢喺即係正正喺個海灘上面啦，佢個私人海灘、私人沙灘可以直接去到㗎啦。咁啊，另外咧，其實就係佢有94間嘅豪華公寓啦。個戶型分別就係1房、2房同埋3房。咁其實佢亦都係有唔同嘅，即係佢都包括晒所有嘅，例如話可能係餐廳、gym。可能係即係 for 家庭嘅，可能都有即係小童，即係適合兒童去玩嘅遊樂園啦，亦都有唔同嘅都5星級嘅嗰個即係招待啊，或者可能係佢嗰個即係嗰個 concierge 個服務啦。咁基本上全部都係即係都係以走奢華路線為主啦。咁所以你諗到嘅5星級服務佢都會有嘅。
Yeah, so this is just an overview of all the facilities that I've discussed. So also you have a gym, you have a group classes space, a really nicely equipped business center, so you can also use the printing machines there. You have a properly operational restaurant which will serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The kids' playground. As you can see, you also have a swimming pool right at the beachfront. And now currently we're going to look at some of the designs of the apartments. This is a 1-bedroom apartment, which is 83 square meters. Here in this development, the price is including semi-furnished apartment, and then you also have to choose a different furniture package. There's standard and premium package, which basically covers the appliances and sanitaries, which I also will show a detailed list in the next slide. But they're absolutely trendy. They're also equipped very well to live there if you purchase it as a residence, or it's also very suitable for short-term and weekly or monthly rentals, for example. So they're really nice. This is the bedroom area, bathroom area. And then we can also look at the 3-bedroom apartment. They're all pretty much the same in the design, just basically a different square meterage size. But they have this kind of very nice beach vibe, and they have this a little bit of also muscling style, which you can see with the darker colors of the kitchen. There are still some beach deluxes available. So those are the ocean-facing apartments that are right in front of the ocean.
係啦，咁啊，其實啱啱咧，其實 Natasha 都好快咁同我哋去 go through 咗，其實佢呢一個嘅即係𝐀𝐌𝐀𝐋𝐈 佢1房、2房、3房佢哋嗰個即係嘅示意圖啦。咁啊，其實佢哋基本上咧，如果1房嘅話咧，就係83個 square meter，即係大概可能900尺度啦。咁其實即係起啦。咁所以其實但係佢嗰個裏邊嗰個裝修咧，都係一啲即係以即係奢華嘅路線啦。咁其實對嗰個大家嗰個設計都非常之相似嘅。咁唯一一個少少特別嘅咧，就係其實佢係一個嘅partly furnished 嘅。咁其實就係佢會包喺嗰個價錢裏邊咧，係包括一啲嘅家私或者裝修。咁啊，另外啦，大家都可以選擇咧，其實就係唔同嘅佢都會提供一啲嘅家私套餐啦。咁有分基本同埋高級版。咁呢個就即係適隨尊便啦，呢一個可以都選擇。咁一陣間Natasha 都會再同大家介紹。咁其實佢另外一個咧，其實就係第一個特別啲，佢係一個嘅18個月嘅分期付款計劃啦。咁同阿媽你有少少唔同，阿媽其實24個月，呢個18個月嘅。咁啊，呢一個咧，另外就係呢個就係35年嘅租賃期啦。咁呢個就短少少。咁但係其實我相信，如果大家係會係做一個投資嘅話咧，其實都應該都係夠嘅，係啦。
Yeah, so this is just to cover again the price list. So the prices, there's 4 stories in this building. So it just depends on which floor the apartment will be. There is also 2 parts of the building. One is the garden courtyard, one is the ocean courtyard. So the starting price in this property for 1-bedroom apartment is from $232,000 USD, and some of the 3-bedroom apartments is possible to get for $500,000. The prices, as I explained before with Amali, they are fixed in IDR, so USD is just a guide. It's the same payment schedule terms with 30% down payment. For the remaining 70%, you'll have 18 months payment plan. This property is a leasehold for 35 years, and it is extendable for another 20 years if you would like to have a longer ownership. The price is not including the VAT and the notary fee. So same like in the property before, 11% for the VAT and 1% for the notary fee. And then also here you do have to choose a furniture package. So there's 2 packages, one standard, one premium. And you can see the difference between two of them, but basically one is Toto, Modena sanitaries, and another one is more premium. So it includes Miele Kohler, better fridge, better TV. So this is the price also for the furniture package. And then for the business model, I will get back to it after it's been translated, the slides before.
係啦，咁啊，其實咧都再講翻，即係講多少少啦。其實佢呢一個嘅即係 𝐀𝐌𝐀𝐋𝐈 佢一個項目啦，咁其實佢嗰個即係俾錢嗰個方式咧，其實就同頭先嗰個即係阿瑪尼其實係差唔多嘅。係啦，咁但係佢呢一個嘅項目咧，其實咧就有少少唔同咧，就係啱啱提就係18個月嘅分期付款啦。咁但係其實佢嗰個 booking fee 咧都係2000萬印尼盾，即係大概都係1萬蚊港紙度，亦都可以喺2個禮拜內咧係100% 退還翻嘅。即係如果選擇唔去繼續即係唔買嘅話啦。咁啊，另外咧就係佢都係即係30% 咧就係一個 deposit 嚟嘅。咁啊之後咧就選擇18個月嘅分期付款啦。咁其實佢嗰個租賃期咧係35年啦。咁但係如果你想再延長少少亦都可以嘅，可以延長多20年咯，即係35加20嘅。係啦，咁另外咧都會係呢個係即係呢一個項目都係需要喺 on top 在上面再加一個嘅11% 嘅銷售增值稅啦，同埋1% 嘅公證費嘅，係啦，咁同埋呢一個嘅項目頭先都可能再提咗少少啦，咁呢一個項目咧就依個係4層樓嘅，咁啊4層樓其實就會提供94個94個單位公寓啦，咁係1房2房3房，咁其實佢哋咧分別咧就係除咗佢個面積啦唔同嘅房之外咧，其實佢嗰個面向亦都有少少唔同，咁啊亦都有分即係面向海嗰邊啦，或者面向花園嗰邊，咁呢一個其實就係即係佢嗰個價錢係會有分別咯，咁呢個就係睇大家嗰個即係嗰個意願同埋個 preference 係點嘅，咁而家呢一個咧，啱啱而家見到咧就係頭都提過啦。呢一個項目咧，其實佢係 party furnish 嘅，咁所以其實就會有一個家私嘅套餐，咁有分標準套裝同埋高級套裝。咁所以其實就係即係當然啦，即係佢嗰個牌子啦，同埋佢嗰個家私個電器啦，亦都係有啲即係有啲唔同啦，包嘅有個齊全啲啊、靚啲啊嗰啲。咁呢一個就會悉隨尊便啦。咁啊呢一個大概即係標準嘅話咧，就係即係$19,700啦，大概可能都係15,000蚊港紙啦，15萬到啦。咁另外咧就係仲有另外一個就係即係大概高級啲咧就係即係$26,000啦，係啦。係啦，咁呢一個係大概呢個亦都可以即係大家可以即係比較下咯，係啦。
Yeah, so now just to come back to the ROI projection and also the business model of this particular project and also Amali before. So normally our business model is structured on the rental pool, which means that we will rent out the whole development, not just your particular unit, but the whole development, and you generate the return from all these units. Once the generated return go into the rental pool, into one basically basket, then it will be proportionally shared between the owners depending on the unit type you've invested. So for you as an investor, it's a very secure business model, which also means that there is no preference over one or another unit being rented out. So it doesn't matter if your unit has been rented out more or less than another one, both investors would still be getting equally exactly the same proportionate share from that rental pool. We do structure our business model, our projection on a very conservative rate. So we're using an average room rate of $240 to $270 from year 1 to year 3. And just a note, so this average room rate is considering that the units are sized from 80 to 300 square meters. Just to give you an idea, in this area, for example, the nearby resort Conrad, for example, they're renting 20 to 30 square meter rooms for $200 in the lowest season, and in the highest season, the rental of those rooms are going up to $500 a night. So this is really, really conservative average room rate that we used for the projection, and as well the occupancy rates between 74 to 82%, as mentioned earlier. In October, by October this year, the occupancy in this area already reached 86%. So by our conservative projection, your ROI from the rentals, this is not including the appreciation during the construction or the yearly appreciation of your property asset, just purely the rentals, are from 11 to 14% ROI. And this is already net after we have deducted all the management fees, all the sinking funds, all the utility costs, and etc. So this is net that you get. And I would seat that you could expect for very least 15% even in year one. But we just like to keep the numbers very conservative so you can as well estimate some of your own risks. And at the bottom side of this slide, you can see the proportion of shares depending on the unit type you have invested. So let's say you were to get a unit for 259,000 USD, your return would be from $28,000 to $35,000 from year one to year three by the conservative projection above.
係啦，咁其實咧啱啱 Natasha 就會講緊呢一個 Kiara 佢嗰個即係租金回報呢一個嘅 business model 啦。咁其實究竟佢嗰個租金究竟嗰個回報率，或者係佢嗰個即係投資嗰個策略究竟點去 run 出嚟嘅咧？咁其實有幾點其實佢有個即係幾點佢都提過嘅。首先第一就係佢呢一個嘅嗰個平均嗰個房價咧，其實佢係會講大概係240至到270度啦，即係佢由第一年、第二年、第三年咁去遞增啦。咁但係其實佢亦都係會頭先都講過例子，就係佢喺其他另外一啲嘅其他嘅相似嘅 residence 啦，其實佢嗰個面積佢細啲，大概都係20至30平方米到啫。咁但係其實佢可能佢最低 low season 佢可以去賣200零蚊，即係美金啦1晚啦。但係佢最高個 high season 嘅話，其實可以去到500幾蚊。咁但係其實佢而家只係每一個即係以一個比較即係保守啲咁去估計都係200宗啦。咁所以其實佢嗰個回報率已經可以去到即係由第一年嘅即係11%就可以去到第三年嘅大概13.6%。咁呢個其中一個嘅即係第一個嘅投資 key point 啦。咁啊另外一個咧，其實就係佢嗰個平均嗰個 ROI 咧，就係即係佢係由即係佢可以話初頭佢可以去到即係最高可以到15%。咁啊，但係其實佢而家只係一個比較保守啲嘅估計，都係由10.9至到13.6%。所以大家可以諗下，如果真去到實際嘅情況，可能會比而家見到會更加多。另外咧，其實就係佢嗰個究竟我嗰個租金究竟佢嗰個回報，佢究竟係點計出嚟嘅咧？其實咧就係以計你嗰個即係你投入幾多錢啦。即係例如可能我買嗰個單位，可能係頭先以一個即係第二花園套房去做比較啦。咁啊，其實咧都係以一個嘅即係按比例形式嘅，即係所有嘅租金收到咧都會擺到有個 pool 裏邊。即係擺喺一個好大嘅 pool 裏邊啦，咁其實到最後就係根據翻你嗰個你買嗰個唔同嘅公寓嗰個嘅款類啦，去計翻俾你嗰個平均嗰個份額出嚟俾你嘅。咁所以其實就係話會唔會大家會諗下，你依間可能我買嗰間房會冇人租，咁啊唔該冇租金，其實又唔會係嘅。呢一個就係話，所以點解佢一個比較平均去比例嘅份額出嚟，就係所有收集翻嚟嘅租金，其實擺落一個嘅即係 pool 裏邊，再按比例去俾翻你嘅。係啦，咁啊第三就係而家見到所有嘅平均 ROI 啊，佢嗰個租金啊、租金嗰個回報啊嗰個咧，其實咧就係一個淨一個 net 一個淨嘅租金嗰個去顯示出嚟嘅。其實就係已經係減晒所有即係管理費啊、所有嗰啲要業主要俾嘅升遷分啊嗰啲全部已經減，即係可能管理費全部都已經減晒。呢個一見到係大家可以收到。或者見到即係可以收到嗰個價錢咯，所以大家亦都可以即係當然啦，詳情嘅話其實亦都可以聯絡翻 Natasha 去做，佢會提供多啲資訊俾大家咯。
Yeah, so some of the main reasons of investing in Kiara Beachfront, this is the only and first residential development at the beachfront in Nusa Dua area. You can expect from 10 to 15% ROI from the rentals. You do expect as well over 30% capital appreciation during the construction. We actually already started the construction of this development. And this is a really perfect property, either for investment, a holiday home, or a residence.
係啦，咁其實亦都可以即係可以總結翻啦。咁其實究竟 Kiara 呢一個項目究竟點解可以即係大家可以考慮去投資，或者佢啲咩賣點咧？咁首先其實就係佢係喺頭先即係巴厘島下面啦，嗰個地方佢頭先即係右邊係啦，即係右邊一列裏邊所有嘅係第一個嘅住宅區。 即係代表其實佢係可以選擇你係自己住啦，或者可能係租出去都得啦。咁呢個係住宅區，其他都係酒店嚟嘅。咁啊，另外佢嗰個回報咧就10至15% 啦。頭先都有提過啦。咁當然啦，如果你想了解多啲，可以再聯絡翻 Natasha 啦。咁另外咧，其實佢嗰佢本身嗰個佢嗰個物業佢自己本身嗰個價值咧，其實亦都係會即係按住佢建築之後亦都會即係增加30% 啦。同埋其實佢都起緊㗎啦，已經即係佢唔係一個即係佢即係起緊途中啦，即係你係已經係一定係會起到啦。另外咧，其實就係你無論其實佢係第一個嘅住宅區啦，咁所以其實就係無論你自住又好啦，或者你投資咧，你都係可以即係你都可以揀咯，即係唔係我淨係呢個淨係for投資嘅啫，呢個冇得住嘅，又唔係嘅，呢個你可以自己去揀嘅。
Yeah, and now I just would like to quickly explain the property purchase process here in Bali with our company. So I think I already heard a little bit that Ivan has explained, but just to cover it up, if you like one or another unit, you can always leave a booking fee, which is refundable within 2 weeks' time. So with booking fee price of $1,500, we can hold the unit for you. And the benefit of it is also because we are able then to send you all the paperwork for your review. So you will get the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, which is basically the purchase agreement, management agreement, estate rules, list of furniture, list of appliances, and then you'll have 2 weeks to review everything, to ask all the questions that you would think of, to make your property purchase, very secure and transparent. If you're able to fly in here in Bali, we're more than happy to tour you around our main head office, our also completed projects, and also take you to the site location of this particular development. And if everything is all good, we're just moving forward with the property purchase. So the 30% will already be deducted off the booking fee, so this is not an extra cost. We will also send all the paperwork. If you're doing a remote purchase, we can DHL all the paperwork to you for signing. If you're coming here in place, we can just sign all the paperwork here. Then all the contracts will be notarized. And after that, you can pay the first payment 30%. And then after that, you go on with the payment schedule discussed. And the very last step is to make the deed of lease, which is the last step once the property is completed and once also you completed your payment terms. And in case within the booking period something changed, plans has changed, or you thought the property is not very suitable, we are just refunding your booking fee, and we are more than happy to see you again in Bali. Maybe another project will be more suitable for yourself to invest.
係啦，咁而家呢一個咧就啱啱 Natasha 同我哋即係用一個即係再詳盡啲去講緊成個購買流程啦。咁啊，其實購買流程基本上就係首先會有一個 booking fee，咁其實就係大概係即係1500美金同埋大概係1萬蚊，即係1萬蚊港紙到啦，即係兌換翻啦。咁其實如果你2個禮拜內，其實你可以問所有嘅問題，即係你有任何疑難都可以問翻 Mira 嘅即係同事啦。咁如果2個禮拜之後，其實如果你選擇唔買嘅，亦都可以全數退翻俾你嘅，即係 refundable 嘅。咁啊，另外就係即係如果你 OK 啦，你決定去買啦，咁其實就下一步咧，其實就會去簽一個嘅備忘錄啦 ，MOU 啦。咁啊之後咧，簽完之後咧就係即係同埋公證啦。簽完之後其實就需要去交個30% 嘅首期啦，嘅 deposit 啦。咁你簽完之後，其實就會再去傾翻究竟嗰個分期付款嗰個即係24個月，即好似 Armani 24個月，而 Chiara 就18個月啦。咁其實就會去計就係去簽埋，去決定翻餘下嘅款項，根據翻成個嗰個即係 payment schedule， 咁勁去點去俾啦。咁啊另外咧，其實就係即係最後啦，咁之後就會再簽埋嗰個公證租約，咁其實就係去委託翻可以委託翻 Mira 幫你去出租呢樣嘢啦。咁當然啦。成個流程你可以選擇唔去即係可能我喺香港嘅，可以係一個 remote 嘅流程，佢會全部 DHL 即係正本俾你去簽啦，去來回翻啦。咁當然啦，如果你係想飛，如果你係好想親眼去睇層樓，亦都冇問題啦，可以飛去印尼巴厘島。咁其實Mira 同事亦都非常之歡迎見到你，可以帶你去睇。咁當然啦，如果可能你話我突然間我想喺我俾咗 booking fee 裏邊嗰2個禮拜內，我想轉，可能買其他即係我想轉主意，或者可能係我唔想買呢個項目，我想睇其他項目都冇問題嘅。咁其實喺呢2個禮拜內，其實亦都可以去聯絡翻即係 Mira 嘅同事，可以去佢 可以揾佢哋去介紹翻唔同嘅項目俾你，因為其實即係 Mira 頭先講咗啦，其實 Mira 其實佢有好大嘅開發商啦，其實佢唔單止阿瑪尼同埋唔單止 𝐀𝐌，其實佢有佢其他島啦，亦都有唔同嘅項目，亦都可以俾你去選擇，總有一個可能會即係比可能合你心水咯。
Yeah, so we currently have many different developments. They all have very different completion stage. So even if you're looking for something that is already ready to move in or ready for renting it out, we also have some of these projects. So please feel free to reach out to me so we can find something very suitable for you. So as I was mentioning also in the beginning of the presentation, we have properties starting from $170,000 all the way up to 3 million. So if one of the projects would be more suitable for your needs, we can also consider to discussing more details later in a private call or meeting here in our office.
係啦，咁其實頭先都提過啦，其實即係 Mira 有好多唔同，即係除咗頭先即係阿瑪尼同埋 𝐀𝐌 之外咧，其實亦都有喺其他島嶼都有唔同嘅項目。即係如果你可能我想有其他唔有覺得可能我想有冇其他價錢選擇啊，或者有冇其他島嶼啊，或者有其他嘅項目選擇，其實而家熒光幕上面都會有。咁當然啦，如果你想了解多啲，亦都可以去聯絡翻 Natasha 啦。咁其實佢嘅聯絡方式就係可能 email 啦，同埋佢嗰個 contact number 咧，亦都喺個 comment box 裏邊嘅。咁大家亦都可以隨時去 message 佢咯。咁亦都可以即係俾多啲唔同選擇大家啦。咁其實當然啦，即係你有意其他即係其他唔同嘅項目，其實即係 Mira 同事或者 Natasha 亦都可以即係可能喺即係同你set up 一個嘅即係其中一個 Zoom meeting 啊，或者其他即係再同你再傾亦都冇問題嘅。Yep.
Yeah, now we can also cover some of the most frequently asked questions. So the first question is if you do need to have visa to come here in Indonesia. So it's very easy. You can receive visa on arrival. It is given for 30 days, and then you can also extend it at any time for another 30 days. Otherwise, it's also very easy to get a residence permit here or to get a more long-term stay visa that we've discussed earlier. So from 6 months all the way up to 2 years, this would be a very easy process to do.
係啦，咁而家就係啱啱都係講翻究竟如果我要嚟即係我要嚟印尼嘅話，其實究竟嗰個簽證係點咧？其實頭先即係較早前都有講啦，其實而家都可以都同大家再講多次啦。咁其實咧佢係有即係30日嘅落地簽證咧，亦都可以再延長30日。咁當然啦，其實另外嘅 visa 如果佢想長期嘅話，亦都有商務啦，即係商務嘅簽證咧180日。咁另外仲有個即係 investor status 啦，或者可能係 second home 嘅。咁呢個咧就係另外嘅唔同嘅 visa 選擇。咁如果大家有啲咩問題咧，亦都可以聯絡翻同事，即係有關相關嘅同事咯。
Yeah, so another frequently asked question, if it's possible to open a bank account here. It is possible. You don't have to be a resident to open a bank account. All you need to have is the local phone number and also to have an introducer from the bank, which we can also arrange for the opening a bank account.
係啦，咁其實頭先都話啦，其實而家嗰個即係佢如果佢要去買印尼個項目嘅話，係需要以印尼盾去交易啦。咁佢或者要喺當地要搞一個嘅銀行戶口啊。咁其實咧其實係可以嘅，即係外國人都可以開一個銀行嘅 account 啦。咁但係咧需要有擔保人同埋有本地嘅電話 SIM 卡。咁但係呢一樣嘢其實都唔需要擔心嘅，即係 Mira 同事亦都會幫你去安排嘅。
Yeah, the next frequently asked question is what type of documents would you receive after, actual purchase of the development? So at the first stage, the very initial stage, the documents that you receive is the MOU, the one that we've discussed, which has all the key information about the parameter specification of your property, about the construction duration, liabilities of first and second party as well, payment plan schedules, and all the details regarding the property. And at the same time, we also are signing, if it's a managed property, we also sign the management agreement where you can also read through and understand a little bit more in detail how the property will be managed. And at the final stage is once the property is built and once your payments have been completed, you also will receive the deed of lease or leasehold agreement. This is an actual ownership agreement that you will get from the notary.
係啦，咁呢一個咧就係再詳盡啲講咧，就係如果我要去即係去買即係呢一個嘅項目嘅話啦，咁其實究竟有啲咩文件我係需要注意同埋要去處理嘅咧？咁首先就係嗰個例如話你包個 booking fee 啦，咁之後其實你會收到個 MOU 啦，就係嗰個備忘錄啦。咁其實個備忘錄就會係列晒究竟你呢一個項目，即係你所購買個項目所有嘅條款啦，咁所有spec 啊個規格全部都喺晒上面。咁啊，另外就係一個嘅管理嘅合同啦，就係即係委託即係 Mira 幫你一個嘅 property management 啦。咁啊，另外就係當成個嘅項目起好咗之後咧，其實就會收到個契約啦。咁例如話可能你係一個租約啦，或者係租約契約啦，同埋你一個嘅即係你係一個 ownership， 即係你係擁有佢嗰個即係業主嗰個契約啦，佢相關嘅文件都會有嘅。
Yeah, and the next question is, what are the extra costs when you're making a property purchase here? So the only extra cost that you have is the VAT, which is 11%, and also the notary fee 1%. There's no other extra costs or hidden cost. So it's very, very transparent in terms of the pricing. And once you buy an investment property, you won't have any extra cost for maintaining that asset, because the business model as it is covers all these expenses, and you're just getting your return every quarter, every 6 months, depending on the property that you've purchased.
係啦，咁其實咧有乜嘅額外，即係除咗我俾房價之外，仲有啲咩費用咧？其實頭先都有提過㗎。咁其實除咗嗰個房價費用之外咧，其實亦都有11% 嘅即係銷售增值稅啦，同埋1% 嘅公證費用嘅。咁所以其實咧呢一個其實就係基本上都係呢兩個，就冇其他嘅隱藏費用啦。咁啊，另外咧就係如果你係即係你去買呢個房產係投資嘅咧，其實投資嘅目的嘅話，其實亦都唔會會有個維護個費用啦，因為其實本身你係俾咗嗰個30% 嗰個物業管理費㗎嘛，咁所以其實有好多都係包咗喺裏邊嘅，同埋有3% 嘅 sinking fee 啦，咁所以咧其實都係有好多即係都唔會話無啦啦會突然間會有啲嘅即係唔知咩嘅支出會彈出嚟，都唔會嘅。咁其實呢個都好清楚咯。咁當然啦，詳細嘅亦都可以聯絡翻相關同事啦。
Yeah, and the next also very oftenly asked question, what is ROI? So ROI is the coefficient of the return on your investment. So normally there are many factors that are influencing on your investment. For example, the market condition, or for example, the competition, the economic situation, dynamic of visitors, either it's international or domestic. And all of our ROI calculation we are doing for the duration of 3 years, including all these type of factors and risks. Therefore, from our expertise, the average ROI here, including all the expenses for the managing, maintaining the property, can be from 8 to 15%, depending on the type of ownership that you would choose.
係啦。咁其實咧，即係講咗咁耐啦，其實去投資都講投資回報啦。咁其實投資回報當然有好多因素啦。咁當然唔係淨係同大家解釋即係 return of investment 係咩啦。咁其實 return of investment 其實都係即係講翻就係有好多佢計出嚟嗰個顯出嚟俾你個數據，其實係根據好多唔同嘅即係客觀嘅情況或者係現今而家個市場環境情況去計出嚟嘅。咁所以其實咧就係以未來嘅即係起碼3年去計啦。咁所以其實佢回報率咧係會喺即係計除其他成本之後就8至15%。咁所以其實頭先講嗰兩個項目，即係話 Armani 或者可能係 Chiara， 其實佢嗰個同大家講嗰個 ROI 嗰個數值咧，都係以一個保守啲嘅計法咯，即係唔係即係都以一個平均值，以一個保守啲去話俾即係project 俾大家睇，咁都係以一個嘅即係唔係一個進取嘅形式啦，即係唔會話突然間會同你講話好高，咁其實都係以一個嘅即係計出嚟，同埋一個嘅即係比較保險啲嘅方法，去希望可以話俾大家聽，呢一個嘅回報率大概係幾多
？Yeah, and then the next also very often asked question is, do you have to manage your own property, or can you do it on your own? So no, there is no need to manage the whole process of renting it out. We have a very nice business model which covers all the risks, covers all the expenses, and makes it very, very convenient for yourself to be located anywhere in the world and not to have to worry about how the whole process is going. You don't have to face any legal questions, or you don't have to face any language barriers question that may appear when you are dealing with in a foreign country. Other than that, here in Indonesia, if you want to rent out the property on your own, you actually have to have an official company and also the licenses. Therefore, it's a little bit a complicated process if you want to do it on your own. Therefore, we are really offering a very passive model, which would be zero hassle for yourself.
係啦，咁其實都講咗啦，其實我哋其實呢一個嘅投資，即係投資呢個項目啦，咁其實就係會幫你，即係 Mira 其實呢一個一個嘅開發商，其實佢係除咗開發之外，都幫你係會管理埋你嗰個嘅物業啦、項目啦。咁其實佢係一個一條龍嘅服務式嘅。咁點解咧？其實係因為除咗語言或者可能係其他嘅法律上面嘅問題之外，個 barrier 之外啦，咁其實因為喺外國人其實係業主啦，其實喺印尼裏邊，根據法律嚟講係唔可以去從事呢個即係出租嘅業務嘅，一定係要有牌照啦，係有公司先可以。咁其實呢個咁麻煩嘅事情咧，其實就唔係即係講真都唔係講真，我哋海外業主其實都唔會太想點去處理嘅。咁所以其實 Mira 其實頭先講嗰幾個嗰啲嘅投資策略啊，其實佢亦都係一個嘅被動嘅投資產品啦。其實就係可以提供到俾你一個嘅選擇，就係佢有唔同嘅策略俾你去揀，你自住又得，或者混合式又得，轉售又得。呢個就希望可以即係方便到你去管理啦，去幫你去管理你嘅物業啦，或者可以幫你去令到你嗰個物業係更加容易去出租啊，或者可能係去轉售又得啊，或者可能係令到你增值都好啦。即係佢幫你去 manage 晒所有嘢咯。
Yeah, and then also another very often asked question is, what is leasehold, what is freehold? So leasehold is one of the most common ways of owning an asset here in Indonesia. Basically, in other words, is a long-term rent, which normally here in Bali, the average duration is around 25 years, and in our projects, it's all about 55 years. And it has a very easy structure of in terms of ownership, because it goes directly on your personal name. You don't need to open any foreign investment company here in Indonesia. You don't need to have a local nominee or intermediate. So it goes directly on your name, and it's a very, very secure ownership. You can transfer your lease, you can sell your lease, so you don't have any limitations in terms of the usage. Freehold is unlimited ownership of the property. However, to own such an asset, you would have to establish a foreign investment company here in Indonesia, and normally the price for such properties are a little bit more higher. So if you're looking still for a passive investment as a priority with the higher returns, the majority of foreigners are still choosing to own a leasehold rather than a freehold.
係啦，咁其實咧都係即係想再即係講多少少關於即係租賃權同埋即係永久業權，即係 leasehold 同埋 freehold 啦。咁其實頭先都有講，其實大部分即係99%咧，其實都係會去即係都會係一個即係租賃去選擇個租賃權啦。咁啊租賃權其實佢除咗個門檻低啦、流動性大啦，其實佢嗰個亦都可以，亦都係冇乜嘅即係限制你，可能你去出售你嗰個物業啊，去嗰個租約啊，亦都係冇乜限制嘅，亦都係比較適合外國人去買嘅即係方法啦。咁其實亦都唔需要開公司啊，因為如果即係相比起嚟，其實你永久業權係需要你喺當地開公司，你個人要喺嗰度啦，你個成本亦都會係比即係你個 leasehold 其實係貴2至3倍啦。咁但係當然啦，如果你係亦都係想係有永久，你係想用個永久業權嘅話，其實Mira 都可以幫到你。咁不過即係純粹如果可能係一般嚟講啦，即係外國人如果去買即係去投資印尼即係地產嘅，通常都會選擇去 leasehold 嘅。
Yeah, and then this is about the purchase possibility. So, like in what currency can you purchase the property here? So, normally all the projects that we're selling them in IDR, the local Indonesian currency. However, we have multi-currency accounts here. So if, for example, you want to purchase using US dollar, euro, or Singapore dollar, Hong Kong dollar, RMB, you can also transfer to our account here directly in that currency. And also we are accepting transfers in crypto, such as USDT or USDC, for example.
OK，咁其實咧，即係頭先咪就話啊，其實如果我俾錢，我需要即係除咗佢個房價係最後係以印尼盾去做結算之外啦，咁其實如果我要俾錢嘅話，咁其實可唔可以俾其他嘅貨幣咧？其實亦都可以嘅。咁其實啱啱Natasha 亦都介紹啦，即係除咗俾印尼盾之外，喺美金、歐羅、新加坡波幣、人民幣，甚至係加密貨幣 crypto， 其實亦都係接受嘅。咁當然啦，詳情亦都可以問翻相關同事嘅。
Yeah, this is a question if a foreigner can own an asset here. So obviously, as we've discussed, it is possible, and there are different structures how to own it, either leasehold or freehold. We in Mira Investment Development, we are offering as leasehold and freehold projects as well, and we will completely help you on every step of the purchase, including all the legal and taxation parts of the ownership.
係啦，咁呢一個就一定可以啦，即係外國人可唔可以喺買印尼房產一定係可以啦。咁其實Natasha 其實頭先重點其實佢想帶出就係、我即係海外人士絕對可以買印尼房產，咁而每一個無論可能係即係稅務啊，或者可能係法律啊，或者可能係每一個步驟流程啊，其實亦都可能對我哋嚟講唔係咁熟悉。咁但係 Mira 其實佢同時亦都可以每一步都幫我哋去解釋究竟點做，亦都可以幫你解決問題，亦都可以解釋俾你聽，即係好詳盡亦都可以嘅，係啦。
Yeah, and this is more about a question like if you can purchase the property remotely if you're not here in Bali. Definitely it is possible. So normally the way we go through the process is we schedule a Zoom call where we can explain you about the project. We can answer all the questions related to the property. You can hold the unit after that, and then you will receive all the paperwork that you can read through. And then after that, the next step would be to sign it, which for that we will DHL you the hard copies, which you can sign, and after that we also will notarize everything. So after it's been notarized, it makes the purchase very, very secure, and only after that you're paying the down payment for the asset.
係啦，咁頭先都話啦，其實都有提過，就係如果我唔喺，即係我未有時間飛嚟巴厘島睇樓，或者可能我喺即係買個過程裏邊，我需唔需要喺巴厘島上面買？就唔需要嘅。即係如果我喺海外，我喺香港，其實亦都可以全程所有嘅文件啊，或者可能所有嘅交易都可以喺 Zoom 裏邊進行。咁當然啦，文件啦、正本嘅文件啊、簽署啊，其實 Mira 其實佢都會 DHL 俾你嘅。咁所以經過全部，因為所有嘅即係，但係亦都可以放心，所有文件都係經過公證啦。咁所以其實亦都可以確保佢嗰個係安全嘅。咁呢一個其實即係都唔需要話太擔心啊。究竟我海外我想唔想飛過嚟啊？或者我需唔需要即係點啊？或者我會唔會安全啊？其實就唔會嘅咯，係啦。
Yeah, and this is all about the most frequently asked questions. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask, or we can discuss it later on the private call. 係啦，
咁其實就即係今日嘅今日成個嘅即係個 presentation 咧，其實就完結啦。咁其實如果大家有啲咩問題嘅話咧，其實亦都可以歡迎咧去喺我哋嘅 comment box 留言啦，或者私信我哋 居外.Asia 啦，或者可以其實喺個 comment box 上面咧，亦都有 Natasha 嘅 contact， 即係例如話佢 email 啊，或者係佢嘅電話。咁稍後之後咧，亦都可以 message 翻佢。咁其實如果啲咩問題話，佢都可以有需要嘅話，亦都可以 set up 一個 meeting。咁其實我相信。即係Natasha 亦都非常之樂意同大家繼續去解釋咯，係啦。咁其實 OK，thank you Natasha today for sharing so much information about the Indonesia potential investing and introduce us two amazing projects, Amani and Kiara, and we know more about how to buy property in Indonesia. Thank you very much, Natasha. Yep.
Yes, thank you so much for hosting this webinar. It was a pleasure.
Yep. And so see you next time to introduce us more amazing projects and share us more information about how to buy property in Indonesia. Yep. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later. 係，咁其實咧就唔該晒，即係Natasha 啦，即係印尼 Mira 嘅，即係 Mira 方，即係 即係開發商其實同我哋今日介紹咗咁多，其實就係即係如何嘅其實印尼，其實佢嗰個投資個潛力啦，其實佢嗰個地點啦，或者其實佢究竟佢嗰個兩個項目究竟喺邊啦，或者可能係就介紹兩個項目，同埋究竟其實成個流程，因為我哋都唔係話太熟悉即係買印尼樓，其實成個嗰個流程啊，或者可能係即係嗰個基本上無論係價錢啊、地點啊，或者佢嘅投資潛力啊，究竟佢嗰個 ROI 啊，成個 business model 啊、role model 啊，其實究竟係點去計出嚟，或者係點咯？咁今日其實就即係非常之詳盡啦。咁當然啦，如果大家仲有啲乜嘢嘅即係問題嘅話，都歡迎可以喺留言 comment box 啦，或者可能係即係聯絡翻即係 Mirror Development 啦、Natasha 啦。咁其實有啲咩都可以 set 一個 meeting 同大家，佢哋可以再同大家再解釋咯。係啦，咁其實咧今日就即係時間差唔多啦。咁其實希望可以下次再同大家即係再同大家嘅見面啊，開 live 啊，同大家講多啲唔同嘅，即係可能喺買印尼樓究竟有啲乜嘢嘅即係其他嘅資訊啊，或者可能係有啲咩好嘅項目可以介紹俾大家啦。咁希望咧下次可以再同大家見面。咁時間係差唔多啦，咁我哋下次再見啦。好，拜拜。